There could be as many injuries as 60. There will be those that are traumatically injured that will be transferred to the med via helicopters. And we will give you as much information as we can as this story unfolds. We know of no motive at the moment. I don't know any of the particulars other than ones that I just gave you. But a shooter in the Kroger in Collierville on Byhalia opened fire. People ran out of there. Some witnesses were saying that there was checkers trying to get out and they were shot. We know of at least 9 injuries. There could be as many as 60 that will end up needing medical attention. It is just a terrible, terrible middle of the day in Memphis, Tennessee. No way around that. Again, I hate to be the bearer of this kind of news, but it is important, and we do want to warn anybody to stay away. There are hundreds of police officers that are in that vicinity. Try to help them out as much as possible, and again, we'll pass along any further information that we get as this story develops. Good afternoon to you, Brett. I hope it is much more peaceful in Forest City, Arkansas today.
Very sad day for sure for all our area. I have Channel 3 on. I'm sure they've all gone live. I can't watch them all at the same time.
Right.
So I have one on. Their coverage, April Thompson is doing an outstanding job anchoring the breaking coverage. Stacey Jacobson reporting live at Regional 1, formerly the Med, and the number of ambulances that have already pulled in and the emergency helicopters that are in transport or in transit and soon to arrive. It sounds like the number is going to be maybe more than we can bear.
Right. We have no idea at this point the identity of the shooter. We were told through a police scanner report that shooter committed suicide at the back of the Kroger store after he had inflicted quite a bit of damage, apparently. We know no motive, and we know nothing about him at this moment. I'm certain those details will be made available to all of us as that information is found out. But certainly a sad day on a day where there were a lot of interesting stories, frankly, in the world of sports that were going on, and we will do our best to carry on in that regard until we get more information. We will not abandon this story, I promise you.
No. But Dave, it's so preventable. I don't know if global pandemic was or wasn't preventable. Sometimes, a lot of automobile accidents and sad things that occur. This is, and it's hit our community now, and it's, we see it kind of over there when it's other communities, but unfortunately it rings loudly today in ours.
Yeah. No, it truly does. In the meantime,
go ahead. If it can happen at Kroger and Collierville at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it can happen anywhere.
We have seen this. We've seen it happen in suburban Denver. Yeah. We've seen it happen in rural communities.
Jonesboro.
This stuff happens everywhere. Being told that, this information comes from a worker inside what used to be the Med. They are already taking care of 10 people. They're expecting about 20. So this is the traumatically injured that are being transferred, some airlifted to the Med. Regional 1, I guess, is what it is called now. So that we know there's 20 there. So the initial reports of 9 injured have greatly gone up.
And it's the hardest time ever for blood drives and to donate with things like that because of the scare of COVID. But if we get more information on anything the community can do, we're sure going to pass it along.
Well, not just that, but, thank goodness that there were available beds that might not have been available 2 weeks ago when we were raging in the pandemic, and there are more available spaces now. As the wave has decreased a little bit on the COVID front. Enough, we hope, that these folks that are really terribly injured are able to be helped or saved if that is the case. At this point,
some pretty dramatic footage Channel 3 is now capturing. It looks like I'm speculating on this. It looks like maybe victims' families arriving, and a lot of hugs and a lot of tears.
And at this point, we must point out that to the best of my knowledge now, the only fatality that we know of is the shooter himself. At this point, and hopefully it will remain this way, there
Feels
has
like that
not
would be
been
a miracle, but let's hope.
there has not been a fatality of anybody who has been shot. But you're right. When you're looking at these kinds of numbers, when Regional 1 is expecting 20, already has 10. We've been told as many as 60 might be involved. Man. And again, we'll point out, because none of this stuff makes sense to any of us. We do not know who the shooter is at this point, nor do we know any particular motive. In the meantime, we sort of will shift our attention here to sports a little bit, and this is an interesting story because today Dr. M. David Rudd was appointed to the National Collegiate Athletic Association Division I board. His term, being on this prestigious board that rules over athletics, college sports, his term expires August of 2025. Now, the last time I was able to speak with the president of the university, he was looking forward to a sabbatical of going to Europe and then coming back to be a teacher. He was going to step down, provided the University of Memphis found a suitable president to follow. And he's going to be a tough act to follow. There's no question about that. But Brett and I've called the university. They'll let me know when they get an answer. I believe that Dr. Rudd is actually traveling today. His term expires in 2025, and he's supposed to step down from the University of Memphis in May of 2022. There's a 3-year, almost 3.5-year gap here. Does this mean that Dr. Rudd is going to stay on for a while longer?
I wouldn't have any idea.
Nor would I. And there has not really been a clarification from the school yet, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But this could mean, because of the time frames here, this could mean that the university will not be looking for a president, that Dr. Rudd would be staying on. I don't know that you could find a better president for a university on a lot of different fronts, but in particular on the front for athletics, especially in this time when there are stories, even more stories coming out, and it's going to be my top story of the day, that another story has come out from another website that covers the Big 12 that says Memphis and Boise will be in as soon as Texas and Oklahoma are out.
Yeah, I know David Smoke, the author of that article. Everybody affectionately and lovingly calls him Smokey. They cover Baylor primarily in the Big 12
right
out of Waco. Forever they were at traditional radio, and they've gone the untraditional route, and they've made it work very much. Paul Catalina has been a guest on this show from their outfit. I know them all through Radio Row stints at Super Bowls, and they're fun-loving guys, and he is. And I've texted with David some, and he is all of his information. And he is a good reporter. This is not just throwing stuff against the wall. He feels like it's done. And I told him, I said, well, we've been to this point before. We've been to the point before with the smartest people in town, not just very highly credible people told me it was done, and it wasn't done. So maybe this time this will be the case. And the first reports of OU in Texas that day, and I said on this radio station that most of the people that day were telling me for the season of 23, and then it moved to no, it's going to happen for next year. It still sounds like it's going to be 23. It's definitely not going to be next year.
Right.
It's not. If it got changed today, the SEC's not changing that schedule they released earlier.
Well,
so for everybody
is
else,
that right?
and it looks like
you don't think really if they were able to maneuver that they wouldn't say we're redoing this particular schedule?
I don't think so. Not 48 hours later, and with every passing hour, it's more remote. But the commissioner of the Big 12 has been aggressive. Now, he's got to fold in all that new that he's already announced first, and then maybe bring or then fold in the addition of Boise and Memphis. But it sure sounds promising, and if it's Memphis in the Big 12, we know what it'll do for football. You mentioned how much Dr. Rudd likes or is interested in athletics. It matters. And too long at the University of Memphis, either they didn't care or they cared about one sport at the exclusion of another and just kind of went. But this time, finally, and at the most critical time maybe ever in college sports, David Rudd likes them both, but also knows how primary football is.
Well, and to be on that board that oversees all of this stuff with those connections and that insight could only be obviously very helpful to the university's cause. We will obviously have to wait and see if indeed he stays on as the president of the university. And where this gets conflicting is the time frame for being on the board, being all the way to 2025. And he has stated in the past that he would be retiring in May of 2022, provided the university finds a successor to him. I don't know if this means that he's going to delay that sabbatical and the trip to Europe, and that he'll remain in this position at least for a couple of more years. So, again, I know the university has been asked this question, and they are seeking answers to all of it. It will all be answered in due time.
Tonight in the NFL, you can listen to all the action right here starting at 7:20. Carolina at Houston in the NFL. It's back. Thursday night football. It's back. FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every play. That's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every week. Thursday night, tonight, it's a great opportunity to give it a try. All you have to do is bet a same-game parlay with 3 legs or more, and if your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10 tonight. I like Carolina money line. I like the over 43. And I like Sam Darnold to go over the passing yards. Sam Darnold over the 43, and I love Carolina money line is my 3-leg same-game parlay tonight. Fast payouts, easy to use, safe and secure. America's #1 sports book. It's FanDuel. New to FanDuel Sportsbook, you can also claim your 30-1 odds on either team to win in the Monday night game, Philadelphia and Dallas. Just sign up for promo code CASH, and if your first bet loses, you can get up to $1,000 back in site credit. That's promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and on the web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day proudly by the great people at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, the one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them at 901-362-8833. Great offers on all 2021 models and special lease options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
In case you are just joining us, the top story of the day, unfortunately, is a very tragic news story that has occurred in Memphis. It is a national story. There has been a shooting, multiple shootings, at the Kroger in Collierville on Byhalia Road. Hundreds of police came to the scene when it was an active shooting scene. There have been multiple injuries. We know at least 10 have been transported to the Region 1, the old Med, downtown.
Now 13 reported is shot at Kroger. 13, according to Channel 3.
So 13 reportedly have been shot.
I'm hearing one fatality.
One fatality now on top of the shooter who committed suicide. We know that the Med, or the Region 1 hospital downtown, is expecting up to 20 people there. So the numbers will get worse as time goes on. We do not know motive. We do not know the identity at this point of the shooter. When it comes to sports stories, tomorrow a big day at Whistling Straits, a practice round. The winds were gusting up to 50 miles an hour. It's going to make golf difficult. It will be
so windy that the Golf Channel crew had to put on headsets. They couldn't go to mic and just earpieces. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that. Crazy. I've honestly been involved in meetings all morning long on sports games that I'm doing, so I have not had a chance to even look at any of the Ryder Cup coverage today. Our good friend Steve Earhart is actually, just for the day, at Whistling Straits, and when he was talking to me, he said he almost got blown off a hill. And he's a big guy, so I know those winds are really, really blowing. The American team is the favorite team, as we discussed last night. You and I, neither of us could understand exactly why, but I at least will be pulling for the red, white, and blue tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
My top story from the world of sports tonight, Thursday night football. And everybody gather around and watch Davis Mills against Sam Darnold on the NFL Network.
Right.
And Marshall versus App State on ESPN if you want the college flavor. But tonight in the NFL, the Panthers, pardon the pun, they're some lucky cats. They're 2-0. Home wins over the Jets and Jameis. That ain't much. And now a first road trip of the year against doormat Houston. Then a longer break than normal because of the Thursday night to Sunday game before having to go back to the state of Texas with a chance to start 4-0 against the Cowboys. The anonymous Panthers with Matt Rule as head coach. Nobody had them 2-0, and not a soul even dreamed of them being 4-0.
He is a heck of a coach, isn't he?
He is a good coach, Dave.
When
you let the merry-go-round swing around, and the coach at Penn State leaves, that Penn State will make an offer to Matt Rule. He can't turn down.
Maybe so. You
Played
don't
there.
get the kind of ascension on just a couple of good years unless people who are in power recognize just how valuable you are. To go from Temple to the Big 12 in what was that, 2 years? And
Pretty
then to
quick.
go.
Remember what he walked in on at Baylor? I mean, they were out of business.
Right. To turn that
and
around.
Temple was out of business when he got there.
How many years was he at Baylor? 3 years, maybe?
Done a great job.
And then got this NFL job. I do wonder, though, especially with the way the college business is today, with the transfer portal, with NIL, I'm not sure we're going to see many guys leave the pro game to go to the college game. So that would be interesting if Penn State did go after Mr. Rule. But that is not in the equation at the moment. At this point, James Franklin has not left. And Penn State, to this point, as I see, is still an undefeated team.
Yeah, that's why I said if.
Not top story of the day.
Well, the story that's sort of getting swept under by so many because football started is the 901 FC football team, the soccer team that plays at AutoZone Park. Last night, they got a little lucky, to be honest with you. The goalie from Indy 11, and I don't believe Memphis had ever beaten Indy 11, the goalie tried to clear the ball, misplayed the ball. It went off of the leg of Memphis's most prolific scorer in the history of their team, Kyle Murphy. Like, he didn't really have much to do with it. The goalie misplayed it. It goes off of Murphy. It's his 14th goal. That's the most goals anybody has ever scored in a Memphis uniform. He's done it all in one season. And the 901 FC is now over 500, 8-7-8, 31 points. I think they need one more win, and they've got 9 games left to equal their greatest year. They are in line to make the playoffs. Of course, they've never done that. This could be the best year for 901 FC, and their coach, Ben Pierman, first-year coach, does it on a shoestring budget. There was a lot more money that went into the roster a year ago, which unfortunately did not deliver. This team, put together at the last second on a shoestring budget, has absolutely excelled any of the expectations. Good for Ben Pierman and that group.
Right now, with that ownership group of both the Redbirds and Memphis 901, are they doing anything that's not shoestring?
I am not aware of that.
Because it sure appears like it's just the most broke budget conscious group ever. My not top story, Ryder Cup will finally have golf balls in the air tomorrow morning. Hallelujah. Whew, the run up to this. The United States may be hosting. They may be the favorite. They may have the bigger names, but I think the European team will win. I'm not for that. I'm for the United States. But if they don't win, if the United States doesn't win, who's going to be public enemy number one? Will Steve Stricker get the Tom Watson treatment? Possibly the nicest man that's ever been out on tour, Steve Stricker. Would he get that skewer job that Tom Watson got? I guess you could do that to him, but will the public turn on Brooksy? Will the public turn on Brysony? Will they turn on the nonchalance, the indifference? You can't blame Phil and Tiger for this one. They're not a part of it.
Hold on. Did you say Brysony?
Brooksy and Brysony.
Brooksy.
The two B's.
Brysony. Brooksy works. I don't know about Brysony. Did you see Brooks spin it today? That bugs me. What happens when a guy gets caught? What does he do? He blames the media.
Of course.
And first of all, the guy that went after him was not the media. The guy that went after him was Paul Azinger. Now, unless, of course, you're considering Azinger a bona fide member of the media, because he does do the analysis on NBC, and he'll be doing the analysis for the Ryder Cup on national TV. But come on.
If this team doesn't win, I can't wait till in about 2 or 3 weeks when we hear the real story and the real quotes of just the contempt they have for
each other. Yeah, no, I think that's it. And because of that, because of the riffs, I would suspect no one's going to point a finger at Steve Stricker. He's such a nice guy. How can you point the finger at him?
I would hope not. No kidding.
And he's closer to their age than, say, Tom Watson was to Phil Mickelson when Mickelson did that treachery, which I thought was ridiculous.
Took him apart.
It was
a bad look.
So I don't think so. I think the guys that will – I think there will be a couple of players, depending on how they perform, that will end up being the ones that will be pointed at as the blame if this goes backwards. But, with all these newcomers, when we talked with Rex Hogger yesterday, these new guys who haven't really participated, that haven't been in all these losses, since '93.
No scar tissue.
They don't have it, so they're, they may not even be nervous.
Let it rip.
Although, did you see what Brooks Koepka said? If I didn't care, I wouldn't be nervous on the first tee like I will be. So
I believe that. If they win, Steve Stricker is going to get a lot of credit. He will be serenaded by his home state on Sunday night.
Look at how he treated Paul Azinger when he won. Everybody was saying make him the permanent captain.
Deified.
And he didn't want it.
He sure was.
He did not want it. You're right. Those are our top and our not top stories. Busy show again today. We'll talk college football, with Bill Bender, who will come your way in just a little bit. Cardinals are playing right now. That 10-game winning streak very much on the line.
They'll come back. Don't worry about it. They'll come back.
Wouldn't shock me. Otherwise, your prophecy falls flat, my friend.
They're coming to bat now. They're coming back. You can catch all the action on YouTube today.
There you
it's
go.
Not on anything but that.
Is that
TV.
right?
Yeah.
It was only on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
That's
wow.
it.
I saw Jay Morgan.
That's why I hadn't watched the pitch.
It. You're kidding. What? You can get YouTube.
I don't get to YouTube.
It's on your computer.
It's on
my
TV.
TV.
It's free.
Not where I'm already paying about $240 a
You
year
don't
for
pay
Major
for
League
it, though.
Baseball
You don't pay
extra
for
inning
it.
pass.
You don't pay for it. You go YouTube.com and then hit the button that has the link to that.
I don't want to watch like that.
It won't cost you anything. It's free. You're not stealing it.
I don't care. I don't want to watch like that. I don't want to watch it on my laptop. I got a very nice TV that I want to watch it on.
If you had a Roku, you could get it on your TV.
I don't have the Roku. I don't have the Hulu. I don't have the Sling, and never getting them. I'll get down to basic radio before I do all that.
The most hard-headed human being I know. Seriously. I mean, I may be a little limited technology-wise. I agree. But I'll at least bend a little. Inflexible. That's what I love about him. He stands his ground. We take a break. Back in a minute. We'll chat with our friend Bill Bender from the Sporting News when we return.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
A new season is the perfect time to change up your look. And luckily, 21 Days of Beauty is happening now at Ulta Beauty. Snag daily beauty steals of 50% off the must-haves from brands like IT Cosmetics and Benefit. And discover new Gotta Have It launches from brands like Jacqueline Cosmetics and Tula. Experience the thrill of finding new faves during beauty's biggest event. But hurry, this event ends September 18th. Shop in-store, online, or try curbside pickup today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Nothing's worse than starting trouble. Well, we can help you out. We can start with a free battery test. That way, we'll know if your battery is causing the issue. It could be your starter, it could be your alternator, and you don't want to waste money on the wrong fix. And if you do need a new battery, we've got you covered with a wide selection of replacement batteries. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2020.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in on this very solemn Thursday afternoon with the shooting that has occurred at the Collierville Kroger on Byhalia Road. And we will be chatting with our friend in just a minute. We will get with the Sporting News, Bill Bender, on college football. But we are getting updates now, and there was a press conference with the Collierville Police Chief, Dale Lane, who has now gone over some more of the details that we are still finding out about this shooting. At 1:30, the Collierville Police Department got a call about an active shooter within the Collierville Kroger. 2 people have now been killed for certain. The shooter and 1 victim. That is at least at the moment. 13 have been injured, and Dale Lane, the police chief, termed those injuries as very serious. There were no children in the store that were injured. That is one bright aspect. They are waiting on a team to inspect the shooter's supplies, his bag, and his car. So there will be more information that will come from that, but they're waiting on a team to do it the right way. And lastly, the Collierville Police Chief Dale Lane termed this the most horrific event in his city's history. So we know now.
Dave, is it any evidence the vehicle of the shooter are they fearing that it's booby trapped?
I do not know that. I don't know if that was brought up. That's a good point. But I think when you're going to approach that, you want to make sure you approach it slowly with the right people.
Because, like the Nashville holiday shooter, they were scared of vehicle. They were scared when they got to his home. I mean, because they're leaving. They leave a wide swath of evil.
That is a scary point that you brought up. I had not thought of that. My first inclination was to think you're going to wait for your forensics team to get there so that you can get every bit of evidence and not taint it at all. But your point in this day and age is well taken, because who knows? And again, we don't know his identity. We don't know his motive. So the utmost precaution should be taken. And again,
do we know it's his? I mean, we're saying his, but do we know it's male or female? I mean, most of these are male.
Right. The shooter's not been identified.
They just are
by gender at all. We have no inclination as to what who this particular shooter could be.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Thank you, Dave.
That's okay, and I appreciate that, and we want to get this right. And since you bring up that point, it is only an exclamation point to our warning: stay away from the area. Because if indeed that were the case with a booby trap, like we saw with Nashville, then you don't want to be anywhere near that area. So stay away. It's Byhalia Road in Collierville. I'm not sure what the cross street is.
Byhalia and Poplar.
It's Byhalia and Poplar, okay, which is a huge intersection. Yeah. So stay away.
We know exactly. I mean,
from that
it could have been
area.
Any of us at that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
This isn't way over there.
Oh, no.
Somewhere else today.
This is by the grace of God.
Right,
you're alive or you're not today.
Yeah.
That is serious.
I don't know the last time I've been to the Kroger in Collierville, but I've been there, and a lot of people travel through there.
Okay, let's try to get back to sports as best we can.
Let's do.
And
Bill, it's a tough segue. We do appreciate you joining us, but it is tough. Bill Bender joins us now. How you doing, Bill?
Hard to talk about college football. If you guys need me to go, we can do this later.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's obviously more important to health and safety of citizens down there.
We're trying to do both, and we're obviously built more for the sports side, so we'll try the happy segue, but it's not that happy. Bill, I texted you earlier today. I've said it all week. This college football season, let's get weird with college football this year. It might be one of those. We may finally break the log jam of the name brands out, and it could be somebody as wild as BYU in there by the end of the year, because I think they're a really good team.
Well, it's been a fun start to the season. There's no doubt about that. All the upsets, the fact that you had a couple powerhouses looking human last week, whether it was in Alabama not quite being able to blow out Florida. I think of those top 6 or 7, Georgia's the only one that has just looked dominant. And even then, in a big game, you don't know how that offense will do. So you said it, Brett. I mean, this is a tough day to talk about it, obviously, but that season should continue. I think we're going to have some little bit of that much needed kind of upsets and joy and the things that make the season fun.
Is this going to be the year the Big Ten has a different representative that we'll be talking about for the playoff, whether it's Penn State or Wisconsin or Michigan, whoever it may be, Iowa, whoever it may be.
Bill, you said Harbaugh was going to be good this year. They look it.
I get every once in a while I get something right. I mean, I think they've got one of the only reason I said that, Brad, is they can run the football. When they can run the ball, they've been good since the beginning of time. So, I mean, we'll find out in 2 weeks. We'll actually find out Saturday too, because Rutgers is pretty good up front. But to answer the question, I think it's going to be tough, because I'm quick to point out that Ohio State is yet to lose a Big Ten game under Ryan Day. Yeah, Penn State probably feels like they have a chance, and Iowa and Michigan and, even Wisconsin on some level, but that offense is still pretty good. And then they're going to have their own little controversy this weekend when Kyle McCord and Jack Miller, I mean, they're playing Akron, so it's going to be a big blowout. But maybe that is something. Like, that's just one of those places. Like somebody told me today, for C.J. Stroud, once you sit on the bench, even if you're hurt, sometimes it's hard to get back in.
Do we give Illinois enough credit? Kirk Ferentz 3-0, big favorite this weekend over Colorado State. Colorado State's not very good, but that win over Iowa State, we knew that was kind of the swing game for both of them in September. Iowa got it, Iowa State didn't.
Yeah, I mean, big team. Obviously, great defense so far at Iowa. Through 3 games, they've played very good on that side of the ball. They don't give up much. They're disciplined. Tyler Goodson's got the running game going. I've been watching film of, Cole Kubelik tweeted out this Tyler Linderbaum thread, of his blocks, and I've been watching it all day. So, obviously they've got those pieces that Kirk Ferentz has been close with in the past. So, yeah, they definitely got a chance to win the Big Ten West.
The discussion in, I guess it was Chicago yesterday, that was supposed to be about the college football playoff put on hold. Some say it is still really going to happen, that they've just delayed this a week. What was your sense of what occurred yesterday and what you think will happen going forth?
I mean, all the stuff that happened in the summer kind of threw off the timeline, right? And now that you have teams moving from, the Big 12 constituency is different. The SEC constituency is different. I think one of the things they've got to get to line up is TV networks, because they're not going to agree to a plan that is one TV network running the show. Everybody's going to want a piece of that expanded playoff. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it's still going to be a process to get that pushed through. And now that you're hearing the number 8 being talked about, which, by the way, they skipped a step from 6 to 12, I think that's going to be a real part of that discussion.
Do you think this is more about the television and the ability to get more partners and not let somebody else run their deal? Or is it that 12 is too many and maybe they don't want the little guys involved?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, I think the SEC and Big Ten are going to have their interest in this because they're going to want to get 2 and 3 and maybe on any given year 4 teams in this thing. And that could happen. I mean, if it was this year, we're talking about the 12 best teams in the country, and we're being honest about it. Yeah, probably 4 of them are SEC teams. And that's what those conferences are going to go. But like I said about the SEC, I think Greg Sankey's probably at a point where whatever they end up doing, they're going to be cool with, because the SEC is going to be an advantage. Putting more teams, more SEC teams are going to be in it. It makes their regular season more lucrative. And, maybe they're trying to leave out the little guys, and that wouldn't surprise me either.
Bill, the first thing I'm going to do when I'm commissioner of college football, except for the cocktail party in Jacksonville, the Red River Shootout in Dallas, and the Army-Navy game ever so often. I think it's scheduled to go to campus, try it on campus a time or two here soon. Except for those 3, everything else is going to be played on campus. Look, they know we'll take it just wherever we can get it. But Wisconsin, Notre Dame at Soldier Field, and Arkansas and A&M at the Cowboy Stadium this weekend, that should be Madison, South Bend, Fayetteville, and College Station. Your thoughts?
A&M and Arkansas, I know Pittman doesn't like it, but I kind of like that game in Jerry World. Old Southwest Conference rivals doing it up there. You're right about the 3 classic ones that are always on a neutral site. But Wisconsin-Notre Dame would have been interesting to have Notre Dame go into Madison today or Saturday or vice versa, have the Badgers in South Bend where I don't remember them ever being. So, yes and no. I mean, sometimes I like it, but I think if we're talking about on campus, I want to see more what we saw last Saturday, where there's an SEC school up at Penn State, or vice versa. If there's a Michigan down in Death Valley at night, those are the games I want to see.
I am intrigued by the Wisconsin-Notre Dame game in Chicago because, honestly, if you look at that, I think those are pretty equidistant from Soldier Field, both those campuses.
Yeah, that's why it's cool with me, because it would have been cool last year to see it at Lambeau, with Wisconsin getting them to play at Lambeau like they did LSU, having Notre Dame play there. There's obviously a lot of history at stake with Brian Kelly maybe being able to pass Newt Rockne this weekend.
Right.
Now for the younger generation, I mean, Newt
Say
Rockne,
that again. Say that again.
It's amazing. You would not. I remember the first time I saw that because it was coming up a couple of weeks ago. They were saying he will surpass Newt Rockne, and I'm going, really? Brian Kelly?
Yeah. Not his winning percentage, but his.
Right.
But one of the things to be said about that, and it is to me almost the more interesting accomplishment, is the fact that Newt Rockne coached at Notre Dame for 13 years, and that job does chew up coaches. And Brian Kelly, this is year 12, and I think he's going to break that record too, unless something happens along the way the next 2 years. Where that job's chewed up guys like Lou Holtz, Parsegian, Frank Leahy. I mean, those guys only lasted 11 years. So I think Brian Kelly's ability to kind of weather that job, and the program's better. They're definitely better over the last 3 and 4 years.
No doubt.
And he's actually, based on what I've seen, he's doing a heck of a job of recruiting. There was a time there. When I was a kid, if you were a Catholic school football star, you aspired to go to Notre Dame, and I think that went away. I think in the last 5 or 6 years, Brian Kelly has brought back the cool for stud athletes beyond just Catholic schools, for stud athletes to want to go to South Bend.
Well, and I said, I was in 8th grade, I think, when Rudy was released.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the last time, in my opinion, that Notre Dame was on top of the college football world and was the most popular school in college football. Because that year, if you go back, they beat Florida State that year, number 1 versus number 2. They should have won the national title. I mean, the fact that they didn't is still ridiculous, even though they lost to Boston College the following week. But that, and with Rudy and all the Notre Dame propaganda that came with that, and as somebody that also went to a Catholic school for 12 years, I wasn't a star player, but that was the last time Notre Dame really feel like they were on top of the college football world. Even last year when they beat Clemson, I don't think it was the same.
Good point. And the Holtz years, he delivered for them the last, shockingly, last time they won the national championship, 1988, but I thought they should have won it that year. Bill, thank you for your time today on a trying day for us. We're sorry for maybe sounding dour, but big things are going on, and we sure appreciate you joining us and lifting us up. Thank you.
More important things than college football. You all be well down there and stay safe. Appreciate you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Bill.
Stay safe, too. That is our friend from the Sporting News, Chief College Analyst. That is Bill Bender. We're sitting in the Family Leisure Studios, and I do want to remind everybody, fall weather is here. Boy, it's just gorgeous outside, and it's gorgeous inside at Family Leisure. All the fall stuff is in. It looks outstanding in their facility. You can go outside and see what they got. You go inside, you can see the way they got all the new fall patio furniture lined up. They still have the play gyms. You can use those until really the middle of winter if you'd like to. And now they got specials on all the spas. Hot tubs going fast because when it gets colder, people start thinking about the hot tubs. They've got good prices still on those. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together. We'll pause for just a second. My gosh, Brett Norsworthy is brilliant. I'll tell you why in just a minute.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Solutions.
As a pro, you know you need the right tools for the job. Shop the Just for Pros event at Lowe's now through September 24th to save on top tool brands and more. Up your power with the Bosch 18-volt cordless hammer drill kit, plus bonus laser distance measure, only $149. And the DeWalt 16-piece bimetal reciprocating saw blade set, now only $22.98. Shop in-store and at Lowe's.com. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Valid through 9/24, U.S. only.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend, Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Dave Pash and Mike Golick here from Westwood One with a preview of Thursday Night Football. Week 3 of the NFL season gets started with Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers traveling to Houston to take on Mark Ingram and the Texans. Mike, I look forward to being with you again, my man. How do you see this matchup?
Looking forward to it as well, Dave. And looking at the Texans, probably be with rookie Davis Mills. Tyrod Taylor, that lower body injury, I doubt he's going to be able to play. Rookie quarterback, their best friend's going to be a running game. That could be Mark Ingram and that old line helping him out against a Carolina defense that has shut out their first 2 opponents in the first half. They have been playing great this year.
Join us for the Panthers at the Texans, coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, where you can earn double, triple, even up to 5 times O-Rewards points on select purchases. Get bonus points on more than 200 items throughout the store, like wiper blades, fuel system cleaners, motor oil, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey everybody, it's Rick Earwood, and you know in my day I've bought several homes, and nothing can be more overwhelming and time-consuming than trying to secure financing. Let me steer you in the direction of Tommy Cotham at Bartlett Mortgage, a guy that's been originating loans for 25 years in the greater Memphis area. Tommy does all products, conventional, FHA, USDA, VA. Maybe you're wanting to stay in your home now and just refinance. He can do that as well. So hey, go ahead, give Tommy a call at 901-335-7308. Get your pre-approval so you'll know what you can spend, find your home, and then pack your boxes and get ready to move. It's that easy with Tommy Cotham at Bartlett Mortgage. Call him today at 901-335-7308. Once again, that number, 901-335-7308. Tell him Rick told you to call.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We are getting little tidbits of more information about the shooting in Collierville at the Kroger on Byhalia Road. We know now 2 people killed. It all started about 1:30. There is now a witness report that it all began in front of the deli department. There is speculation this could have been a former employee. We know that 13 have had very serious injuries. 2 people killed, 1 shooter, 1 victim. There are, at the Regional 1 Hospital, the former Med, 4 people have now arrived that are in critical condition. 5 people have arrived that are in non-critical condition. We will, again.
That's what I'm getting as well.
Yeah.
4 critical, 5 non-critical, total of 9 at the Med, ambulance and medevac helicopter. Just so senseless and so preventable, just so sad.
No children involved. That is the one area of relief that we can tell you about right now. We will keep you informed. We'll keep our ears and our eyes on this story until we go off the air tonight at 6 o'clock.
I know this place, though. We're going to rally around this. I know this place.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a fortune raised. It'll be a bunch of good causes. It's just why in the world. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me that we can be so dastardly and awful to each other, but then so good. We'll respond. This area will respond.
Now, there's never been a more giving community than the Mid-South. I can promise you that. In the meantime, back to sports for a moment, if we can. I have to ask you an honest question. Did you look it up on YouTube? Did you look up the Cardinal game on YouTube?
I have not been to the YouTube. I have not been to the YouTube machine. I have not been to YouTube since the summertime.
Did you
it's
know
Cardinals Day.
The Cardinals would come back.
2 birds on one bat.
When the Cardinals went to bat in the middle of the top of the 7th,
I said they would come back.
They were down 5-1. You weren't watching. Yeah, there was a texter friend of ours that said, he's just amazed that you have even gotten a cell phone since you won't use any of the new technology like YouTube, which is for free. But that's besides the point. How did you know?
I like going to the YouTube and watching old highlights. I don't want to consume there, and that's where we're going. This is the last year of Thursday night football before it's all moves to Apple.
Right. Yeah, they want you to buy Apple. Everything's going to be streamed. You know what's going to happen, and you're just going to hate this. But this is the way life is going to be.
I'm going to listen to the radio.
So we have to learn to adapt. Everything that you get is going to end up being streamed, and you're going to have to pay for what you stream. It's not going to be outrageous, but you're going to have to pay your $7
So you're saying we're going to a la carte. I don't mind a la carte.
That's what we're going to go to.
I would because, man, you talking about it's going to be boring. It's going to be just for sports. I mean, I won't get the Weather Channel at that point because I just don't care about
need the Weather
watching
Channel.
so much of it.
You can get it on your phone, provided you have a cell phone.
Well,
we're hoping you
I
keep
do,
that.
And here's another way I can get the weather. I can look outside.
God. Yeah.
And I can look at the calendar. I mean, I know most September 23rds are pretty autumnal, pretty nice. And I can look outside and go, well, I think it's pretty nice today.
Did you know this one was going to be as beautiful? Because I knew 2 days ago.
Most are. Most Septembers are this pretty, yeah. I'm going to take a flyer next year on this date. It's about like this.
Cardinals and Brewers tied up, bottom of the 7th. Man, it's amazing how the Cardinals, they really may never lose another game. Oh, one other note. Southsiders in Chicago.
And
they win tonight.
Wrapped up today.
They're in.
Most amazing stat I heard today watching the White Sox game. Today was the 5th game all year they had the Big Five. Now, I can't rattle through all those, but it's their Big Five offensive players. Today was just the 5th time all year they've had them.
Yeah, they win 7-2. They play again tonight. Doesn't really matter. You know what? They're not going to send
Champagne over TLR.
Yeah.
Way to go, Tony La Russa.
How about that?
But a lot of people could have won that division this year. Now, this is why they hired Tony La Russa from here on.
Well, to win the division the way they did going away, I mean, I think there should be some people in the conversation saying Tony La Russa's manager of the year. I'm not saying he should win it, but I'm saying he should at least be discussed. Would he be the oldest division winner ever as a manager?
Oh, yeah.
How old
there weren't divisions.
Right.
There
Like
weren't
when
divisions
Walter,
around when Connie Mack was around.
Or Walter Alston, for that matter. How old was he when he won the National League, I wonder?
Well, he was getting up there in the early 70s
Yeah.
with divisions.
Sure.
But TLR's old.
How old
I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame already.
Tommy Lasorda, how old was he his last championship season? Because La Russa's what? 70. What is he? Brett, you know? 70-something.
La Russa's 76.
76. I knew it was mid-70s. This is amazing. This portion of the show brought to you by the Commissary. That's the Germantown Commissary, the Collierville Commissary, college football and NFL football tonight. You want to make it easy on yourself, pick it up on your way home. You can go either place. You can take it out at Germantown. You can drive around that big drive-through, that palace of a place at Poplar and Houston Levy. Tomorrow you might want to think there's a big football game that they got going tomorrow night. Germantown is playing Houston. Woo! That isn't far from the Germantown Commissary, either location. Make it easier on yourself to tailgate. Bring ribs. Everybody in the parking lot will be your buddy. I promise. And it's just so consistently good. Whether you're getting ribs or pulled shoulder or you're getting a cheese and sausage plate or you're getting nachos, and they invented nachos at the Germantown Commissary and the Collierville Commissary, it's the best. It really is. And consistent. I love saying I've never had anything that wasn't on just top notch when I've gone to either of the commissaries, and I like to finish it with dessert with banana pudding. Brett loves the icebox lemon pie, says it's the best icebox lemon pie that he's had anywhere, even some gourmet restaurants. Go check it out for yourself. We're not lying. Go see. You'll love it at either the Germantown or the Collierville Commissary. Back with our number 2. We'll talk NBA because it begins soon, and we'll do that with our friend from Yahoo down in Orlando. Keith Smith comes your way in just a minute.
When you're watching the Tigers play or whatever team you support, you always look for the end result, the winning score. And when you're thinking of selling your home, the ultimate goal line is the closing table. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. Getting your home sold for what you want and when you want it makes everyone happy. You should talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers when you're thinking of selling your home, and make sure I'm one of them, especially if you want results. Most people have heard that when you want the job done, you need to call Sheldon. Call or email me today and find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option. You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Sheldon Rosengarten. Call today at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. And go Tigers!
Corky's is your home for authentic Memphis barbecue. Our dining rooms are open, or stop by our speedy drive-thru. Order your party packs today starting at only $5.99 per person.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to reclaim your freedom in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi 1870 Covington Pike. Make your mileage count with 43 mpg and lane departure warning in your 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. $179 per month. Get more standard equipment than Ford Escape or Mazda CX-5 in your new 2022 Eclipse Cross with effortless technology at $299 per month. Plus, relax and enjoy the ride with My Pilot Assist in your new 2022 Outlander, $319 a month. And we stand behind our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, $500 military rebate. Mirage MH009-694, MSRP 17,490. Outlander NZ02-3330, MSRP 29,315. Eclipse NZ003186, MSRP 27,725. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/30/21. Dealer stock only.
Tired of waiting on your sportsbook? Waiting for deposits and withdrawals? No more waiting with Action 24/7. We're cutting out the middleman. Deposit or withdrawal in cash. Action 24/7 has more than 100 partners in Tennessee for cash deposits and withdrawals. Visit action247.com for a location. Cash deposits and withdrawals from your Tennessee sportsbook. Action247.com. You got action.
Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call 800-889-9789.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch. That's how I set the rhythm for a great day. Look for Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
The Tigers are home Saturday as they continue their undefeated streak. The Roadrunners of UTSA will be coming to Memphis for a 2:30 kickoff. Get your tickets today. The all-new Tiger Terrace presented by Green Mountain Technology is available on a limited inventory for this exclusive premium area for each remaining home game. Call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com. Saturday, Memphis versus UTSA at 2:30. Sponsored by KTG USA.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in hour number 2 on this Thursday afternoon, September the 23rd. A gorgeous day outside, but a sad day. And we give you news with a heavy heart today. A tragic shooting, a series of shootings into Kroger at Poplar and Byhalia in Collierville. 13 people have been shot. 2 are dead. The shooter by suicide, and 1 who was a victim in what Collierville Police Chief Dale Lane called the most horrific event that's ever occurred in Collierville history. Law enforcement are still working some active scenes, including waiting on equipment to search the shooter's car and some property of the shooter. Part of the ongoing investigation is the shooter's connection to Kroger. They got a call at 1:30 this afternoon about an active shooter inside the store. Apparently, it began in front of the deli. There is speculation that it was a former employee. 13 injured very seriously, 9 of which were taken to what was the Med downtown, which is now Region 1. 4 of those people arrived in critical condition, 5 in non-critical condition. No children were involved. Police Chief Dale Lane said that all 13 of those injuries were very serious. The one good aspect is that no children were involved at all in any of this. There continues to be more and more updates, and we will follow this story closely until we go off the air at 6 o'clock tonight. So that is the latest. We are up to date on all of that. In the meantime,
and Dave, our next guest, he and his community know all too sadly and all too well about a mass casualty event because they had it in Orlando. And Keith, we're sorry to bring you on in these type of circumstances, but you know it all too well from what happened in 2016 at the Pulse Club.
Yeah, it was a very, very sad day here. We continue to, unfortunately go through these things in our country, and all the best to everyone impacted there in your area today, and, hoping for everyone that they can pull through as best they can.
We appreciate that, and, your thoughts echoed by all of us here at Sports 56 and 98.5. In the meantime, coming up on October the 4th, that we will have the very first open practice for the Grizzlies. So it's fall. We're in the heart of football, but the NBA is literally right around the corner. And the biggest story at the moment continues to be the total dysfunction of the Philadelphia 76ers with trying to get rid of Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons then just taking a stand saying, I'm never playing in this uniform again. And Doc Rivers taking back things that he had said earlier and saying, we still want Ben Simmons. What is the
Doc got foggy on us.
Yeah. What's the ultimate outcome? Keith
I wish I knew. I have thought it'd be done by now. I thought he would have been traded in advance of media day and training camp opening. I didn't think that was something the 76ers wanted to have, that circus around the start of a season. I thought they would want to get things moved on, but yet here we are a few days out, and he's still a member of the 76ers, and they're continuing to drive an extremely high asking price for him. And he's continuing to say, that's great, you do what you need to do, but I'm not coming. I'm not going to be there. Doc Rivers confirmed that. There had been some thoughts that, well, maybe that's being blown out of proportion. Doc confirmed that's exactly what Ben Simmons told the team leadership is, I'm never playing for you again. And Rich Paul doubled down and said he'll play for any of the 29 other teams, but never Philadelphia again.
That's pretty matter of fact.
That is. When we clear the smoke here, who do you think is the one that is most to blame in this debacle?
Yeah, I think if you were making the pie chart of who gets the most blame here, we'd be handing out some pretty big slices to a handful of people. I think Ben Simmons is partially to blame. He has not developed and evolved as a player like they hoped. He is the guy who has had struggles in the playoffs each year that he's been there, and has maybe cost that team his playoff series wins at times. I think the organization as a whole has kind of failed him in their ability to convince him to develop, their ability to develop him. And then I think more recent, he's only been there a year now, but I think Doc Rivers shares in some of that blame as well. It's interesting. I've had a lot of people say in the last day or so after Doc said that's not really what I meant, and post game, I've had a lot of people say to me, "This is why you shouldn't talk to him. You shouldn't talk to the players and coaches immediately after a game. They're hurting. It's raw. It's emotional." And my pushback
that's when you
is
get the truth.
When they're the most honest. Exactly. That's exactly it. That's when they're the most honest. So that's why we talk to them immediately after, because we want those real raw feelings.
Cooling off period allows them thus to cool off. We want it natural. We want it heat of the moment. That's when you get the best stuff. That's when you get the honesty. And you were just very candid. You were just very forthright with our audience, as you always are, Keith. And it's one of the things that really separates you from a lot of people that cover the NBA. You love it, but you're not going to be you're not a shill. Doc Rivers needs to be criticized over his last year and his handling of Ben Simmons. Thank you for doing so.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think if you want to do this correctly, I don't go on the attack on people when it's just to do it. I think you guys know me well enough now. We've been doing this long enough. I don't do the hot take thing. I'm not going to fire off, takes just to put them out in the world. If I say something, it's something I believe, and it's something I feel I can back with opinions or with, hopefully some level of facts. And I think the reality is Doc Rivers said what he said. He can try and frame it differently now. He can try and walk some of it back. But you hit a point. We all know, especially in professional sports, sometimes things get said that can't be unsaid, and it's really, really hard to work around them when you get to that level. And I think that's where we are with Ben Simmons. I'm just surprised that Philadelphia and Daryl Morey continue to drive, we need X for Ben Simmons. I get it. Their goal is to turn Ben Simmons into a superstar player, to pair with Joel Embiid and keep their status as a title contender. And that's all well and good, but it may not be direct as that. It may be you take players and a boatload of draft picks for Ben Simmons, because at the end of the day, this is still an extremely talented guy who is maybe the best defensive player in the league. He's certainly the most versatile defender in the league. But you take what you can get for him, and that's what you spend to go get your superstar player to pair with Embiid from there. And I think if you look at what Philly has done with their roster so far, I think they know that. In their heart of hearts, they haven't filled out their training camp roster. They've still got, I believe it's 4 open roster spots that they're sitting on right now. That's really uncommon, only a couple days out from camp starting. So I think they know, hey, we may need to do a 2 or 3 for 1 type of trade for Simmons here, and we got to keep spots open to get those guys in.
Is it possible that Ben Simmons is a guy that can do things on defense and rebounding and passing, and that's it? He's never going to be a superstar scorer. He's a Dennis Rodman kind of a player. He's a complimentary at a high-level guy that can affect the game in many ways, but he's not going to do it as an offensive player, except that, and there is a value to that. It may not be the $147 million over the next 4 years that he's going to get, but
that's already in the bank.
There is a value to what he brings, and somebody probably will accept that and say, okay, we can work with that.
Yeah, 100%. As I said, this guy is an unreal defender. We like to say a guy can defend 1 through 5, but no one in the league does it like Ben Simmons does. If you look at the defensive metrics, can be a little weird and a little wonky. But one thing that they all agree on is Simmons is the one guy who spends considerable time guarding 1 through 5, and he guards 1 through 5 about equally well at all those spots, which is, when I say equally well, that's not, he's average. No, that's at an elite level at all those spots. So that's already skill 1. That's enough to pay for. We've seen teams. Heck, the Bucks won a championship with P.J. Tucker basically being a 0 on offense and just play defense. That's all we need you to do. Play defense. But the challenge is, Philly to this point has installed Simmons as their lead ball handler and playmaker. And I think you guys know this because I've said this about John Morant at times. If your lead ball handler and playmaker is a shaky shooter, or in Simmons' case, a complete non-shooter, not even a bad shooter, but just a non-shooter, it becomes really, really hard to put together as good an offense as you can, because it just makes it so much easier for the defense. So I think what needs to happen is wherever he goes next, it needs to be in that role where he's kind of playing a little bit like Draymond Green, where it's, hey, we're going to have a bunch of other guys out here who can do the offense stuff. You just get that ball pinging around, you get it moving, you attack, you drive, you do the things that you can do and go from there. And that's where it has to be for him. Because if you install him as your point guard, you're just going to run into the same exact problems Philadelphia did.
Keith Smith with us talking NBA. That's just a great explanation of it. Keith, you just retweeted a tweet by Kyle Goon that covers the Los Angeles Lakers, and his tweet said, Rob Pelinka says the expectation for the Lakers roster is that everyone will be fully vaccinated by opening night on October 19th. Look, everyone means everyone, so it's no need going through, what about this guy? What about that guy? What about LeBron? He just tweeted everyone. So there's your story with the Lakers. Everyone will be vaccinated by opening night. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my personal opinion is we should all be getting vaccinated, and let's get, if we want to get things back to normal, let's get it done. But in the case of the Lakers, I think what you have there is LeBron James, singularly, at this point in his career, his goal is to win championships. And if he believes, hey, all right, in order for us to play all the games and not have any problems, not run into any issues, not having guys out due to COVID, is get vaccinated, you better believe the guy who I still believe when he needs to be is the best player in the world right now. If he's going to the 15th man on that roster and saying, hey, go get vaccinated, the 15th man on the roster is calling the trainer and saying, hey, how do I set up an appointment to get this done? That's just the way it works. Now, we're getting reports around the league of a handful of other players. Right now, we know the Warriors, the Knicks, and the Nets, in their local market, there are rules, regulations, mandates, laws. I don't know what to call them. I don't want to call them the wrong thing. But it is stated, in order to be in those buildings, those players who are employed by the host need to be vaccinated. And we're hearing reports that there might be a handful of guys that aren't on those teams. It's a little shaky right now that I don't want to definitely say guys are or aren't, but we're going to find out here real soon, because as soon as Monday and Tuesday, if they're not at media day or at training camp, the questions are going to start. Hey, where is player X? What happened? Why is he not here today? And the team will ultimately, my guess is, will answer that honestly and say there's an issue with the vaccination status.
There is a poll being taken by the Grizzlies of their season ticket holders pertaining to attendance and vaccination requirements. I know that Memphis is the school, the University of Memphis, their basketball team will be holding on October 13th Memphis Madness, which basically is entree, and people are buying tickets, entree into the game. There is, at this point that I know of, because there's not been an established policy for FedEx Forum yet, there is no requirement of proof of vaccination or negative tests for COVID, but you will be required to wear a mask. These will all be done by local health departments, right, or the ownership of the particular teams. There's not going to be a league rule per se. Is that correct, Keith Smith?
That is correct. The NBA has said that they will defer to the local decisions to be made. So whether that be the team, the owners of the building, in many cases the teams do not own the building that they play in. If that owner of that building, for liability reasons, is going to require fully vaccinated or whatever it may be. And I think the NBA is pretty smartly, they're following along with a lot of what the NFL has put into place. Is, hey, first things first is whatever the local mandates, rules, guidelines are, that's what decides all of this first and foremost. Then after that, then it's building, team policy, whatever it is. But the NBA is not going to make an overarching rule beyond what they've already done, which is all coaches must be vaccinated, all staff, all game personnel. So basically anybody that you see kind of down near the floor doing that is all going to have to be vaccinated. And then in various locations, I'm on a lot of the different media emails, despite being here in the Orlando market. I get them from all over the league about what's going on with media day and season access and that. And those are all over the board for media members and what they have to provide and those kind of things. So it's just, this is the world we're living in right now. And people are going to have to adjust if they want to be at these games, whether it's to work them or to be there just as a fan and take it in.
Keith, you did a great compilation on where everybody stands on rosters and getting inside the maximum number allowed, and we're still watching here. The Grizzlies are going to have to let a pretty good player go, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. My guess is what's probably going to happen with Memphis is Yves Pons will get converted by the end of camp into their open two-way slot, but they're still then going to be +3 players, and they're going to have to move on. And what's a little bit different for them is it's 3 players are on fully guaranteed contracts. Now, they don't have luxury tax concerns, so that's not a huge problem for them. They're not anywhere close to paying the tax right now. And they've done this in the past. We've seen them, be content to say, hey, we'll take some dead money on the roster if this is where we need to be. But then once you get past that part of it, there's some guys that I don't think are going to be unemployed for very long at the end of the Grizzlies roster. They've got some guys that they're unfortunately here going to either via trade or waivers, they're going to let go that I think some other teams are going to jump on pretty quickly because they're guys who have either played and proven themselves in the league to at least some level, or there's guys that still have some upside where teams will still
could really burn
them if they can.
Who could they look up and go, oh, no, what did we let him go for?
Yeah, I think two guys who kind of jump out to me initially are probably Sam Merrill and Daniel Oturu. I think those are 2 guys that you could look at and say, boy, later down the line, it feels like Memphis has been on this never-ending quest to add more shooting to the roster about since the team moved there from Vancouver, it feels like. And Sam Merrill, that's kind of what he does. So, maybe that's the way they go. I liked Oturu coming into the draft a little over a year ago when he came into the league. So I think he's a guy that you could look at and say, boy, we kind of missed out there. But they're not going to keep those kind of promising guys at the expense of someone that they know can help right now moving forward, because they're set up to obviously try to win and be competitive in the immediate.
Yesterday, Brett asked me, which guy I was most excited seeing in the scenario I was hoping for. And for me, it was John Morant to make the leap that the great point guards make. If they're going to be a good player to a great player, they make it from year 2 to year 3. He said he was waiting to see the improvement of Jaren Jackson and to see if he could actually play an entire season, whatever that may be, 68 games, 72 games, whatever the new full season is for an NBA player with the way we do load management. And so we started to talk about Zaire Williams. So what do you think is a fair expectation? Is he going to end up a two-way guy because he's developmental, or does he get a seat at the end of the bench? Does he get into the rotation? What's the right thing we should expect from the move they made to get Zaire Williams?
Yeah, so he's on, his standard contract, his rookie scale deal, which will run for likely 4 years with the team options on years 3 and 4. And then we'll see. So I think what you're going to see out of him and Santi Aldama, too, is I think those two guys, along with the two-way guys, they're probably going to log a good amount of time with the hustle. And I think that's why, if you're the Grizzlies, like so many other teams have done, is they want their G League team nice and close. So we can send you down the road, go practice there. If we're doing an off day, we want you to get some practice reps, get down there. If we are in a situation where we've got a couple days off and we're home, go there and play in a couple games and then come back and be with us, because if we've got a couple guys nicked up that are sitting out, we'll put you in, active roster as our last couple guys on the active roster. And that's not a knock on either of the players. I think Memphis is good. It's tricky because they don't have a ton of super top end talent. Their top end talent is young and still developing and growing. But what they do have is a whole bunch of depth. They've got a lot of guys who can play, and quite frankly, a lot of guys who need to play. So if you're someone like Zaire Williams, I think you have to embrace, hey, it may take me a little while to really practice rotation, figure this out, and it may take a guy or two leaving for that to happen, which is probably a later this year or even next year kind of thing. So embrace it, go down, play with the hustle, do your thing down there, show out there, look really good, get those game reps and that experience. I think that's what's coming for him, because I just think it's going to be too hard for him to crack and move past a couple really good players in the rotation.
Keith, as always, we appreciate it. We appreciate your insight on what occurred tragically in Orlando, as you talked about it at the start of the show in relation to what's happened in Collierville today. And we always appreciate your wisdom on what is going on in the NBA.
Thank you so much for having me again. All the best to those impacted today. Horrible tragedy. Hopefully this is something we will see less of as we move forward as a country. I just, I really hope that for everyone involved that they pull through okay. Thank you, guys.
Amen to that. Thank you, Keith Smith. Our friend down in Orlando writes NBA for Yahoo. He's brought to you by our title sponsor of this program. You know by now, this hour for a long, long time, and they're moving with me to 10 o'clock. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Classy organization led by Chris True. Many of his team members, guys like John Burnside or Rick Fink or you name it. They have been around for 14 years. So they understand not just the product, the market. They love where they are, and it shows. They make buying a car a joyous experience. So if you're in the market for a new car, or you want to go meet the most delightful guy ever who's been in the car business for literally 55, 60 years. That's Ray Melton, still working every day in his mid-80s. You want to go see these fine folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. And they've got G-Cars on the lot, and they've got Hyundais on the lot, and cars are returning every day. It's getting better and better and better. Get on Lamar, get into Mississippi, turn left at Craft Road. It's the very first exit, and you'll see how they've raised the bar. And do business the way car business should be done. It starts with that product that I've talked about being so good. You get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every new car, and they're giving you a 10-year guarantee. That's how good this car is. And then they're going to help you take care of it to make sure it gets to that 10-year mark, because they're going to give you a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on the house. They'll rotate your tires. They'll change your oil. They'll make sure that you've got the right level of liquids. You've got your belts tightened. I mean, everything is running at peak efficiency. They make sure that that is the case. And that's why you want to be taken care of. And you want a joyous experience when you buy. That's why you got to go see my friends at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. We pause for a second. When we come back, National Football League. We talk that, and we'll talk a little Tiger, Texas, San Antonio. Russell Copeland was in our meetings this morning. He'll share with us his wisdom on that when we return to Sports Time.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays. Only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
The biggest game of Week 3 is the Monday night matchup between Philadelphia and Dallas, and FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the NFL week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Just sign up with promo code CASH this week before Dallas takes on Philadelphia. You could win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code CASH so they know I sent you, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only, $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Looking to buy or sell a home in Mississippi? Don't know where to start? Rely on someone who has decades of calling Mississippi home. Someone who puts honesty, integrity, and clients first. Doug and Colin Brown, $1 million producers representing Regency Realty in Mississippi. This father-son combo will help you find your next dream home. Call Regency Realty at 901-350-5050 or direct at 901-598-9168 to schedule an appointment.
Hey everybody, new Tahoes and Silverados are finally in transit to All-Star Chevrolet, and you can reserve yours today. I'm out here in Olive Branch looking at all these certified pre-owned Silverados, and they got a lot. And if you have a car or truck you want to sell, All-Star Chevy is the place to bring your title and get a check today. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy with the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Remember, it's not Collierville, not South Haven, not the Pike or Mount Moriah. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So go to All-Star Chevrolet or allstarautogroup.com.
Now, More of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
They were in the fifth in Milwaukee, and the Brewers had a 5-1 lead in that game. All of a sudden, this team just can't lose. They're 3 outs away now from 12 in a row, to paraphrase Brett Norsworthy. Close to a dozen, cousin. 12 in a row. They now lead the Brewers 8-5. And see, is there one out in the bottom of the ninth?
I'm starting to think now they catch the Brewers for first. Won't even be wild card.
That isn't going to happen. Come on. Are you now you're going crazy on us. They're still, after today, they'll be 7.5 back. Right? With 10 games to go.
Baseball left.
With 10 games to
go. A lot of baseball left,
Dave.
Dave.
They're not getting none.
There's always a lot of baseball
You're
left.
getting too greedy, my friend. You're getting too greedy. That's incredible. 12 games in a row for the Cardinals. And
12 in a row in April is the same as 12 in a row in September, but there's a different dynamic about it.
No doubt. And this was after
If
a
you know,
terrible
you know.
performance by Adam Wainwright, right? Didn't he get rocked early? I mean, they did this.
Let up a grand slam in the first inning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's rocked, didn't it, Brian?
Yeah.
I was trying to make an excuse for it. Brian just cut right to the chase. Grand slam at first.
Yeah.
Speaks for itself. Thank you, Brian.
my
I like that.
Wow. This is they. I mean, my goodness, they may never lose a game. In the meantime, we've got Thursday night football coming your way tonight. Remember Thursday night? They added Thursday night football, and they did it because they wanted the extra product. But remember how it was panned because the games were so poor to begin with, and then they started getting a few better games. But they've reverted this.
And they broke out the color rush uniforms to make it like us, us like it more.
Right. I remember. Oh, those were terrible. Gosh, those were bad. Tonight, the Panthers and the Texans without a quarterback. I mean, it is not the prettiest game that we have ever seen. That is for sure, but it is NFL football. And to analyze the games, we always bring in our good friend Russell Copeland, former Buffalo Bill, former Philadelphia Eagle, former Green Bay Packer. I asked him this today because Russell, we have our meetings with the Memphis coaches on Thursdays, and Russell was rather animated today discussing his rookie year as he was learning the playbook, which was voluminous, learning the playbook of Marv Levy and the Buffalo Bills. How big was that playbook, Russell Copeland?
Well, I tell you what, Dave, guys, it was like a phone book. And when you have a veteran Hall of Fame quarterback in Jim Kelly who has led 3 Super Bowl appearances, then that's the playbook. But he had his separate playbook. So just learning a lot of plays on the fly was my most important thing because from a physical standpoint, I knew that I could play in the National Football League, but just trying to make sure that I learned the playbook and I was where I was supposed to be because that's one thing about Jim. He wanted you to be where you needed to be, and if not, then you would not play.
This is a great story. I asked him, I said, so, okay, you've got a phone book, which, is 8 inches thick, right? You got a phone book of a playbook. So how many plays would actually be in for one specific game? Russell, take it from there.
It probably was over 100 plays, and remember, we ran the no-huddle offense, so plays were coming very rapidly. And so for me to get the learning curve, after rookie camp, Charlie Joyner said, I'm going to give you a couple of weeks. And I came up and I met with him every day from about 6 o'clock in the morning to about 7 or 8 that night. But, you had well over 100 plays that could be called. Now, were 100 plays called? It just depends, but you had to learn a lot.
Well,
Russell, you worked hard for it, But you just think you did it just conversationally. You weren't boasting whatsoever. What a lucky man. You worked hard for it. It wasn't just luck. But to play with Jim Kelly, to play with Andre Reed, to play with James Lofton, to play with Thurman Thomas, to play with Kenneth Davis, to be coached at your position by Charlie Joyner, to have Marv Levy around, that's some football heft. That's some football IQ there.
Well, and
most definitely.
The other thing I like is that Jim, you talk about those 100 plays, but Jim would sometimes, because they were a veteran team,
go off script.
And he would go off script, and he couldn't call a play that they used 2 years ago because his mind was brilliant. And so, like, Russell's a rookie. He doesn't know the play.
And you had Big Kent Hall at center from Greenwood, Mississippi, and he was a great one.
So what happens if you don't know the play?
Well, you look into Andre Reed, and he's, so ready to play in the slot. So Charlie Joyner, he called me, when I came to the sideline, he was in the booth, and he called me, on the phones and said, if there's a play that comes up that you do not know, he said, with your speed and your athleticism, he said, I want you to run a go route. And so if I didn't know the play, I would run a go route, and I caught passes by running the go route.
I love that.
And, the thing about it, guys, he told me, he said, you would never be in anyone else's territory. And, you would not mess the play up because you'll be clearing out. So.
I love this. So he doesn't know the play. He knows if he doesn't know the play, go long, and he got some long passes though. I love that story.
Russell, I was only around a little itty bitty bit with Uncle Jim Kelly around for Chad Kelly and Chad's little brother's tight end now at Ole Miss. He seems like just a lot of fun, but when it was business time, I imagine it was business time.
The thing about playing quarterback, you have to be a leader among men. And Jim Kelly was an excellent leader. And you're not a Hall of Fame quarterback if you do not have those intangibles. And we're not just talking about the physical intangibles, but you have to be a leader. You have to be resilient. And you have to lead by example. And he definitely did that, leading the football team to 4 straight Super Bowls. But my time there, after I retired and I started, my kids were growing up, it means more to me now than when I was playing. When I was playing, I wanted to be a good player. I wanted to learn. I wanted to catch touchdowns. But after it's all over, when you look at that football team, I feel that it was a great accomplishment, and I enjoyed my time there.
Talk to me about Marv Levy, the fact that he was so close, and kickers just one kicker, Scott Norwood.
And a really good kicker.
Yeah, it was.
Scott Norwood was a good kicker.
And it was just like it was star-crossed. How did that affect Norwood's life? How did that affect Marv Levy? Because I think Marv Levy was considered like a genius who just couldn't get it done. And I don't think that's a fair characterization because he got to the promised land 3 times. He just didn't get the
4
ring.
times. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Well, actually, he went 4 straight times.
Right,
I think for Norwood, I think for his career and mentally, I think it's something that he'll always be remembered for. And you guys talked about it. He was a great kicker. But when you look at Marv Levy, he's one of the most brilliant, graduate from Harvard guys that can lead a football team and let you put the pass behind him. It's just unfortunate. We look in society as wins. And if you look at the Buffalo Bills, if they win one of those Super Bowls or 2 of those Super Bowls, you look at them as one of the best teams that ever were assimilated. And I still think they're one of the best teams assimilated. But it's all about wins and losses. But Marv Levy did not let that affect him one bit because he went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Who's the best wide receiver in the NFL today, Russell?
Well,
tough.
It depends on what are you looking for. But I like Hopkins for me. And the reason why I say DeAndre Hopkins, because from a consistent standpoint, he's been number 1, number 2, number 3 statistically. When you had A.J. Green, when you had Julio Jones, and you look at Julio Jones and A.J. Green, they've been hurt the past couple of years. Their stock has went down, and he is constantly making big plays on the national stage after leaving the Texans and going to Arizona. But there's a lot of really good, solid receivers. I like what Diggs is doing in Buffalo. He makes a lot of different plays, but just consistent big play receiver. I'll say DeAndre Hopkins.
Are you surprised at all? And do you think that because there was only 3 exhibition games, maybe this happened, that there are only 7 undefeated teams after 2 weeks? Normally we have double digits.
Well, I just think that on the competition level, I think in free agency, divisions and teams are getting better. I think it becomes harder and harder to win each week. I mean, you can look at it. You look at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh goes into Buffalo. Buffalo, I picked for the Super Bowl, and many others picked to go to the Super Bowl, and definitely the AFC Championship, and they go into Buffalo and win. Then you look at them last week, they lose. So it's just the competition level for me. I'm not really surprised, and I think I like that. I like when I can look at games and it's very competitive. It's not just one-sided. Even with the Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs. If you look at the Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs look like they're just going to go and just go through the year and be 15-1. You look at Baltimore. They started off slow. They come back and they play well. So it's just different. Look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati comes, they play well. Look at the Bears. They come. So it's just different. The competition level is at a very high right now.
Is this game tonight worth watching?
Definitely. It's a National Football League, and I heard you all talking about schedules and how Thursday night, you want good games, but unfortunately, you don't have Deshaun Watson. If you have Deshaun Watson playing for the Houston fan base, I think it's a different game. But now, when you look at Tyrod Taylor being hurt, they do not have a quarterback. Now you're on your third quarterback. It's different. And, for me, I look at the Panthers. To me, I think the Panthers are a surprise. You're talking about how the competition level is. You look at them, Matt Rule has this football team 2-0. So Sam Darnold, he's resurrected his career. And it just comes to show how bad the Jets organization has been over the past 5 or 6 years. Now he looks like the quarterback that was taken in the top of the draft. He's confident. He does not have to worry about, the monkey being on his back, being the number one player playing in New York. He's playing good football right now. And if he plays well, they've got a young defense that flies around the football. So I'm excited to see him. Joe Horn is a really good friend of mine. His son was drafted number 8, J.C. Horn. Mm-hmm. He's a cornerback. So I'm going to watch the game and see how he plays. But I like Carolina.
Are you surprised, Matt, that Matt Rule has turned that thing around as quick as he has?
Well, I'm always, kind of surprised when you look at a college coach because history tells us that most college coaches, some of the brilliant minds of college coaching from Nick Saban on to Lou Holtz, they really haven't fared well. But everywhere that he has went, he has turned the program around. We know about Temple. He has done that. So he has a lot of young players. And so I think that's a reason why he's been able to turn this team around because he relates to young players in their first year, second year, third year, and they're believing in what he's doing. So I hope that he is successful. But 2-0, I think it's a big surprise that he's 2-0 in that division.
Russell, as always, we appreciate it. We really do. Last thing before I let you go. Texas San Antonio, trap game for sure with the Tigers. No doubt about it. You met with coaches today. What is your sense of what will happen starting at 2:30 at the Liberty Bowl this Saturday?
Well, guys, I think it'll be a dogfight, literally, for 60 minutes. This is a very well-coached football team, offensively, defensively, and special teams. The Tigers definitely have to protect the football, and they're going to have to be able to change the football up. But defensively, third down conversions definitely have to get third down. I think it'll be a close football game, but I think overall the Tigers playing at home, I think they win by 3.
Tigers by 3. We'll take it right now. It's going to be closer than a lot of people might think. This is a good football team, this UTSA team. Thank you, Russell. We'll see you Saturday at the Liberty Bowl.
Thank you, guys.
Our friend Russell Copeland on the National Football League is brought to you by James Davis Men's Store. Tell you what, Russell, he looks like a guy who could walk out of GQ. He's perfect to go to see my friends at James Davis Men's Store. And to get the only place you can get the stance system is at James Davis. Go get the stance and get a perfect, reasonably priced custom fit shirt or pants. 3 measurements for the shirt, and about 2.5 weeks later, at a very reasonable price, $100 or so, you've got a shirt that fits you like none other. It's like those old days when you used to go get about 15 or 20 measurements to get one perfect for your body. With the new technology and the algorithm they feed into the computer, 2 measurements on pants, and they fit in your waist, in your behind, in the back of your legs, everything. Perfect. It's amazing. 2 measurements, about 2.5 weeks, reasonably priced. The only place you can find that is James Davis Men's Store. And all the finest things, like the only place, well, not the only place, but Toomey Luggage, which is, in my opinion, the finest luggage that there is. Whew, they got a plenty of it at James Davis Men's Store. And all the fall fashions are in, the newest sweaters, the pullovers. You're going to love them. I promise you, you will love it. Go see my guys at James Davis Men's Store and ask about the Stant system. Back in a minute, we'll put a wrap on this second hour on this Thursday of Sports Time on Sports 56.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I thought we were done with this.
Say ya, Petey.
Don't call me Petey.
We're back, baby, doing Central Barbecue commercials.
This is very exciting.
Reminding everyone that there are 4 locations, all with that perfect Central Barbecue, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue.
You know, you don't really need me for these.
No, I want you for these. We're a team, you and me, telling the world about the best ribs in Memphis. Maybe the best ribs in the world, Central Barbecue ribs.
See, you didn't need me to do that, and don't call
Petey,
me...
Central Barbecue spots wouldn't be the same without you.
I think they would.
You know you love it, and there's no better barbecue than Central Barbecue.
It's football time in Memphis, and if you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, it sure better be home selling time in Memphis. And just like you may have a favorite team, favorite coach, or favorite players, you may not have a favorite real estate agent. If you don't, think about drafting me, Sheldon Rosengarten, with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I always tell people they need to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to find out who will be the best quarterback of their home selling team. Have you heard people say that when you want the job done, call Sheldon? Find out why my award-winning, highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option can mean the difference in whether you sit or sell. Also find out how to take advantage of our worldwide relocation network. Call or email me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Sheldon Rosengarten at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, and go Tigers.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear that 3's a charm at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah, so I'm ready to trade up to a Kia sales event with you, my man.
That's right, Randy. 3 rides, all just $248 a month. Take your pick from a 2022 Kia Soul LX, 2021 Kia Forte LXS, or a 2021 Kia Rio LXS. Your choice, $248 a month.
And Soul, longer, better warranty than Honda or Nissan. Forte, more passenger volume and thousands less than Honda Civic. And Rio, higher MPG and thousands less than Corolla. Plus, you'll get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 72 months at 2.9 APR, $29.99 down. Sold in 716-1784, MSRP $20,500. Forte ME $402,825, MSRP $20,055. Rio ME $427,894, MSRP $19,755. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF $695. Must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brett Norsworthy.
This portion of our show brought to you by Ken Garland. Ken Garland with that beautiful eye for renovation or building that dream home. If you are ready, with the way houses are selling now, you got to pay a lot of money for a house. You'll sell yours, but then you got to move somewhere unless you're building. Now might be the perfect time, and Ken is the perfect guy. Go to kengarland.com. You'll see what his dad did before him and now what he's been doing. We're talking 50 years of the Garlands in the building business, and they are outstanding. If you need land, they've got it. If you're not sure what to do with the land that you have, but you want a palace, they know how to do it. Again, go to kengarland.com and then call Ken, 751-1632, 751-1632. You call him, you tell him exactly what you're looking for, and I promise you, he's a great guy to talk to. He sees little details, big picture, all at the same time, and he'll work closely with you. He understands what commitment you are making, both time-wise and financial. That's why he works closely with all the clients, and he will deliver what you should expect, which is on time, on budget, and high quality. That's what you get with Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. So the Cardinals are winners. They've won 12 in a row. Brett, you know the last time they had a 12-game winning streak?
Yeah, they won it all that year, 1982.
1982. That's a long time ago. That
sure was.
39 years ago. Wow.
The Brewers were in the American League. It was so long ago.
So you've been brilliant with your prophecy, saying they would never lose again. So let me go out on a limb and tell you right now that this winning streak dies tomorrow on the north side of the city of Chicago. Say goodbye.
I thought you were going to be there for us. Why you got to be so mean?
Goodbye. You're already
I thought you were going to be there for us.
You're done. You're in. Don't worry. Don't sweat. Can't win every game. The little guys, those Chicago Cubs, the hapless little Bruins. They're going to do it tomorrow.
You love that little guy routine. I'll tell you. You got that down.
Oh, baby. That's something, though. 12-game winning streak. And the difference, honestly, between April and September, April, you can always recover or you can lose that momentum. You do it.
You
in
can
September,
trade all your team.
You do it in September. They call it the right time, or you do it. You do it in May, like the Cubs. They lose 11 in a row, and they say goodbye to everybody.
12-game winning streak's good at any point in the year, but it's really good when you get into September. This team, Dave, this team really couldn't compete. This streak started on Saturday, September 11th.
Wow.
They had won 3 games before losing on Friday, September 10th, and then they've rattled off this streak, starting with a home win against the Reds. I thought the Reds were pretty much going to have that second National League wild card, and they wanted it so badly. The Reds really had that as a big goal.
So the Cardinals have won 15 of 16. If they'd won 3 in a row, lost on the 10th, and then won 12 in a row, that's 15 to 16.
Cardinals have won 15 of 16. That's correct. They lost on Labor Day to the Dodgers, won the next 2 games against the Dodgers. I'm sorry, the next 3 again. I can't read my own writing. I'm sorry. They won on the 8th and 9th, and so 14 out of 15 is what they've won.
And they're beating,
I can't read my own writing.
They're beating great teams. I mean, you mentioned the Dodgers they've beaten. They just swept the Brewers. And it's not like they're just beating up on the Pirates.
How good were the Padres?
Well,
and how motivated
let me just
are the
say
Brewers?
This. The Mets were in the wild card race when the Cardinals put them out of it. So they were in it. It's not like team wasn't trying to fire all guns. Now, the Brewers
all joking aside, this crystallizes, Dave, and I know they're going to. I know I can't stop it. I know I can't call him enough ugly names. I know I can't do it. But this crystallizes why we don't need to expand the playoffs. If we expanded right now today, if Rob Manfred, in the best interest of baseball, expanded the playoffs today, who are we putting in from the National League that really deserves it?
A team that won 14
the Reds?
of the last 15.
No, the Cardinals are going to get in it. I'm talking expanding like they're going to do next year. Who are we adding under next year's plan? Who really needs to be in the playoffs this year? The Mets? Padres?
You're basically talking about a team that's a 500 team. That's what you're going to get in that last spot.
And you've had since April to not be that.
Right.
In the American League, you could have an argument that we're going to leave out a good team in the American League, but wouldn't you want to err on, okay, every now and then we leave one out instead of too often we put a bad one in?
Well, especially when it's supposed to be a marathon and you're you're basically going to take a team that was very poor during the real test of the game, and in a one-game series could knock out a team that has been great all year long, and then just got unlucky in a one-game deal.
I don't know how deserving. I don't know how deserving the Cardinals are now. They got hot at the right time, and now they can really rim wreck the Giants or Dodgers' great 6-month marathon.
That isn't supposed to be baseball, but that is what baseball 2021 is, no doubt about it. When's the last time you had your air conditioning system tuned up, or how about that heating system checked? That's what John's talking about now, a safety check to go with that tune-up. You can get them both this month for $69. You know, that famous Super Saver 16-point energy tune-up, where they go outside, clean all those units outside, come inside, check 16 different areas, make sure they're all in tune, make sure your system lasts longer, keeps your MLGW bill down. But now he'll also do that security check of your heating system, takes a little camera up, and they check for everything. And John says, you know what, I'm going to throw in a carbon monoxide test, too. I'm going to do all of that for $69. What are you waiting for? Just make the call, 384-3511. Feel safe. I always feel much better at night when they've done that test with carbon monoxide, because, you know, that's the deadly silent killer. You make sure that's not happening in your house. $69, come on. Call Conway. Call Conway today. That is 2 hours in the books. Our third and final hour gets kicked off in a minute. We'll talk Tigers with Greg Gaston when we come back.
It's hot outside and your air conditioner just quit. Quick, who do you call? Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, of course, with 24-hour emergency service available. Automatic understands your house is unique, so they work fast to find the right solution for your family's comfort and budget needs. And with financing available and payments as low as $75 a month, it's never been easier to make your home comfortable. Call 363-4636 or go online to itsautomatic.com. Turn to the experts at Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One with a Thursday Night Football preview. Primetime action coming up from Houston with the Texans hosting the Carolina Panthers, now led by Sam Darnold at quarterback. The Panthers are coming off a big 26-7 win over the Saints. Head coach Matt Rule says the win was a confidence builder.
Well, I'm sure they're happy we won. I want them to feel like, hey, my hard work and preparation is working. You know, I think that's the message, right? It's not about am I good enough? It's am I doing the right things to win? And then they have to be honest about, hey, this is what I need to do to improve. And so when you win a game, it brings a whole other sort of set of problems.
Houston dropped a game to the Browns last week and saw Tyrod Taylor replaced by rookie Davis Mills due to a hamstring injury. Dave Pasch and Mike Golick will have the call of the Panthers at the Texans on Thursday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to get everything you need. Right now, get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $28.95 and earn double O rewards points with your purchase. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil. On sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to prilosecotc.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to reclaim your freedom in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi 1870 Covington Pike. Make your mileage count with 43 mpg and lane departure warning in your 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. $179 per month. Get more standard equipment than Ford Escape or Mazda CX-5 in your new 2022 Eclipse Cross with effortless technology at $299 per month. Plus, relax and enjoy the ride with My Pilot Assist in your new 2022 Outlander, $319 a month. And we stand behind our stellar 10-year 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, $500 military rebate. Mirage MH009694, MSRP 17490. Outlander NZ023330, MSRP 29315. Eclipse NZ003186, MSRP 27725. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/30/21. Dealer stock only.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We welcome you back in our final hour of this program, and we will be chatting with our good friend Talking Tigers, Greg Gaston, here in just a couple of minutes. But there is a major story that has occurred today. It is a national story, and it is a tragedy as to what has occurred starting at 1:30 this afternoon at the Kroger in Collierville at Poplar and Byhalia. There was a call to the Collierville Police Department of an active shooter, and it took a while for all of the things to clear, about an hour and a half. And when finally this incident came to an end, 2 people were killed, a shooter and a victim. 13 people were injured very seriously. 9 were airlifted to Regional 1, that's the old med. 4 people in critical condition, 5 in non-critical condition. The police chief, Darrell Lane, said that the 13 injuries were all very, very serious. They had to wait on a team to inspect the shooter's car. I don't know if they were worried about being booby-trapped or if they wanted to make sure the forensics got there and none of the evidence was tainted. The best news, as I said, no children were involved. The police chief, Darrell Lane, called it the most horrific event in the city of Collierville's history. We are learning now, and this comes from Luke Jones, a reporter at WREG, and from a anonymous police source, that the shooter was a former employee who worked in the sushi department. He had been fired this morning and came back with a gun. I just listened to chilling testimony from a woman named Bridget Dickerson, who was a 32-year employee of Kroger. It all happened in front of the deli section. She said the shooter sprinted into the store with a big gun, and it was blazing. And people started running, and the carnage began.
Dave, I saw her. It's so compelling.
Yeah.
The employee inside the building, recollection of events, so much comfort to them, but comfort to the decedent, comfort to all that are hurting right now. It is stunning that it's happened in our town. It's usually always over there.
Right.
It's somewhere else. But
we've seen it in Denver. We've seen it in Orlando. We've seen it many, many places.
Oh, the school shooting in Jonesboro. They're still rocked by the 22 years later. But this, just so sad and so thankful for the nurses and the hospital people and the first responders and everybody that maybe contained this to just this situation. So we'll visit with Greg. We'll talk about Tiger football. We'll try that transition. We know we're your escape, but today I don't know where we escaped to today. I'm very sorry.
Yep.
I'm very sorry that maybe distracted, maybe not as fun-loving as we normally like to get to. We'll visit with Greg Gaston, as we always do every week. We know Thursday night. We know football is here tonight. We will watch football tonight, and NFL's back and bigger and better than ever. And FanDuel Sportsbook, they want to get the most out of every play. That's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every week Thursday night. Fun opportunity to give it a whirl. All you have to do is bet a same-game parlay with 3 legs or more. If your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. I love Carolina tonight to go to 3-0. I like the over 43. And I like what was formerly Broadway Sam Darnold. Now he's Mayberry Sam Darnold down in Carolina. Fast payouts, easy to use, safe and secure. America's #1 sports book. If you're new to FanDuel Sportsbook, you can claim your 30-1 odds on either team to win in the Monday night game coming up. A good one, NFC matchup between Philadelphia and Dallas. Just sign up with promo code CASH. If your first bet loses, you get up to $1,000 back in site credit. That's promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and on the web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you every day by DeSoto Auto Sales. I'll tell you more about them after we visit with Greg Gaston from the Tigers Sideline. He's brought to you every Thursday by South Hall Cafe, Mid-South Hobbies, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, 3A Collisions, Neil's Bar and Grill, and new with us. Welcome to the team, Wilkinson's Liquor and Wines. Greg, I know it's a hard transition day to day. It's tough to just immediately, hey, jump in a good mood and let's talk fun things. It's a very jarring day in our community, but thank you for joining us, and we'll try to plow on. How are you, Greg?
Well, I'm upset, obviously, disgusted at this. Obviously, we've seen a lot of this around the country. You guys alluded to the fact that there's been school shootings even as close as Jonesboro. But right here, when it hits you in your own community, I'm brokenhearted for everybody that's been affected, for all those innocent people out there. We don't know anything about the shooter other than what Wolo just said as far as a disgruntled worker. And it's hard for me to think football. We're going to do that. We're going to talk some football. I want to thank you guys for keeping everybody updated with new information as you've received it. I got to be honest with you. I was in the gym. I had no idea. And then I saw a mutual friend of ours, Wolo, who showed me the tweets and everything that was going on. And I was getting ready to go to Kroger. Not that Kroger, but I was getting ready to go to Kroger, which I eventually went to later in the afternoon. But it doesn't matter if it's Kroger or wherever. That's not the point. The point is that this has hit us in our community, and I couldn't be sadder today for what has transpired.
I am with you. Let's try to regroup here, and let's reflect on something that was very happy, as long as we're talking Tigers, and just the joy that we all had on Saturday. If you were a Memphis fan, I apologize for bringing this back up to the Mississippi State fans, but what a day for the Ryan Silverfield era. His most signature win against a SEC team, a Power 5 team, and he's 3-0. You realize, guys, he's coached 15 football games now as the head man of Memphis. He had to take over for that one game in the Cotton Bowl, so he had to take on a Penn State team that was really good. And he's won 11 of the 15 games he's coached. That's just remarkable.
Got to be the fastest to 11 wins.
Oh,
he has to be,
Dave.
to be.
Absolutely.
Well, the win was so big on so many levels, as you mentioned. Not only you're knocking off a Power 5 school, you're knocking off the Mississippi State school, which is somewhat in our region, just 2.5 hours, 3 hours away. You also had a huge crowd. You had a lot of recruits that were on hand. You had so many alums that were paying tribute to Isaac Bruce, who was there. It could not have gone any more perfect. And, of course, the controversy with the punt return by Calvin Austin. Usually we're on the other end, right? I feel for some of the State fans to a certain degree, but there are people out there that believe that if that was officiated correctly, that meant Mississippi State would win the football game. No, it did not mean that. Memphis had the lead. They would have had the football. I give a lot of credit to Ryan Silverfield, the coaching staff, and those players because they figured it out at halftime, Wolo. They figured something out. And that defense had some huge stops in the second half. Offense, they were able to finally get it together, and they tattooed Mississippi State in that second half. That was all Memphis in the second half. State made it interesting, of course, late in that game, but that is an absolutely huge win. The biggest for Silverfield, as you said, for Coach Silverfield, but one of the biggest ever in the program's history.
You know, that
Greg, I think State's pretty good.
They're not too shabby. This isn't knocking off some, with all due respect to the FCS, Nichols was a nice win, but this is Mississippi State, for goodness sakes, with a really, really good defense and an air raid offense where you saw Will Rogers throw the ball nearly 70 times.
I think the controversy will make this live forever. We still talk about November of 1996 because Cobb absolutely had his elbow hit the turf, and they didn't use replay at the time, and Memphis won the only time they have ever beaten Tennessee, and it came against Peyton Manning and that team on that controversy of special teams play. Now, there's other mitigating factors. For whatever reason.
We don't know that the first play from offense wasn't going to go for 80 yards that day after he was spotted down if they'd have called him down. We don't know what.
That is true. And Philip Fulmer, for whatever reason, decided he was going to run the ball down the throat of the University of Memphis. And Memphis had the number 2 rush defense in the country that year. But he was of the belief that they had the more physical team and that they could run it down their throat. Memphis's pass defense wasn't so good, and he had Peyton Manning. So I don't know. But bottom line is we remember because of the controversy that goes with that, and really it's the only time Memphis beat Tennessee. So that is indelibly marked in our minds. This one will go down the same way because there was this controversy, and it is at this point the signature win for Ryan Silverfield.
It's interesting because you bring up 96 and Kevin Cobb's return. Of course, there was no replay. There was no technology to look back at it. There was no challenges. If that had happened, you would think that would have been negated. Well, here you have a situation where there is technology. You can replay. You certainly could challenge. I don't know exactly on that play what you can and cannot challenge. It's a little confusing. But the officials were the first ones to really make a huge blunder on this. So even though we had it, we had the technology. Obviously, there were the 2 number 4s on the field. There's a lot that Memphis caught a break as far as that's concerned, but they didn't catch a break in winning that football game. They played a great second half. They deserved the victory.
And
Greg, take us through Greg Gaston's life. What were you watching? How were you breaking down the Calvin Austin play? Where were you? How in front were you on the end it was being received on? Were you on the end that he broke the tape on? Tell us about it.
So I was on the end where he broke the tape, but I was watching it like everybody else, and since I'm on the other side, I use the Jumbotron to my advantage. So I'm watching the Jumbotron. I see the ball, and I just assumed that it was down. Obviously, the defensive player did not pick up the ball and hand it to the official, which is what you need to do. But once he touched it, I thought, and I couldn't hear that far down, especially with that crowd, if they had blown a whistle or not. And then all of a sudden, out of the side of the visual and the Jumbotron, there's little number 4 running over and picking up the ball and starting to run with it. Now,
run, Calvin, run.
He's piqued my interest as he's going down the sideline. And once I realized, probably within 20 yards, that nobody was catching this guy. Nobody was catching him. So he runs it in. Wolo and Jarvis are on the call, and it was a fantastic call, and Jarvo's going crazy. And then after he scores, like you said, breaking the tape, he comes over, and right at my feet, he collapses because he had strained some kind of hammy or a shin, something tightened up on him.
Oh, I thought it was cramps.
Yeah, cramps. Sorry, not a hamstring, cramps. And so he had to be assisted into the locker room to take care of business. And at first we weren't sure, but to me it did look like cramps, and it was definitely the shin they were massaging. So you go, oh my gosh, you could ill afford to lose this stud. But what a play, what an intelligent play. And Wolo, you're right. Just like Cobb's return for a touchdown, the kickoff return, this will live forever in Memphis lore.
Just incredible. So now, I think the big chore is how do you get your equilibrium back? Because I'm going to tell you, Middle Tennessee State was not in awe of this UTSA team, and they got waxed. They were down like 27-0, and I know they came back and scored 13 points late on some number twos and number threes, but it was a lopsided victory for the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. They killed Lamar, and they go to Champaign, Illinois. That might have been their Super Bowl, their signature win in their minds, for sure, by beating Illinois in Champaign. They're not all that overly impressed with the American or this football team, and Memphis is still euphoric from this signature Ryan Silverfield era win. How do you get back the focus?
We had Coach Traylor on the show today from UTSA, and he was so complimentary of the Tigers, and he said we kind of mirror where they are. Now, they're way ahead as far as all the years that they have been playing football and what they have done on this great run. But he said, we're still basically in the infancy of our football program.
Yeah, they've only been playing for 10 years. That's exactly right.
Right. And so to be in the position they are in, and a big city, San Antonio, Memphis is obviously a big city. You're trying to build the fan base. He sounded like he was a little dejected in the early attendance, but he says we're just trying to build game by game. He's very confident in the players he has because he has, as you know, Wallo, he has a lot of veteran players.
Yeah,
there are a lot of guys, the super seniors, the five-year guys, a lot of veteran players. They have a really good defense and a really good defense against the rush, but they also have a good offense. They're 29th in the nation in total offense. The Tigers are 20th. This will be a challenge, and you alluded to it. If the Tigers, for some reason, aren't off their high of beating Mississippi State, they will lose. But I don't think that will be the case. I think Ryan Silverfield and the coaches do such a great job and getting these guys back to earth. It was all right to go wild Saturday night, but I think they got them back to earth for practices this week, and they know the
maybe even Sunday night, Greg.
maybe
even Sunday too.
Yeah, it may have stretched it
and into Monday for some fans.
You're right, Stats. You're right, but I think they know what's ahead of them. Look, this is a 3-0 team. This is a good team. They're not playing. Now, one thing, if they were getting ready to play a team that was 0-3, 1-2, perhaps you worry about the overlook. I don't think that'll be the case.
Great point. Maybe this really, pardon the pun, this sobers you up because you're squaring off. They know it now. Ryan Silverfield knows what he's doing. They know it now. They're facing a quality team. They'll sure know it at the 8-minute mark of the first quarter.
No question about it. Look, if you don't wake up at the beginning of the game, you'll certainly wake up if they go ahead and punch you in the mouth right away. And not to look too far ahead, but then you get in the conference play, and there's some teams struggling in the conference. There are some key injuries to quarterbacks on teams that will be in the mix. Obviously, Cincinnati is at the top, but when you look at Clayton Tune, who went down with an injury for Houston, Dylan Gabriel went down with an injury for UCF. When they come back is anybody's guess, but that's all in front of the Tigers, and that's conference play. I understand that this is non-conference, but keep it going. Don't lose momentum by losing to this team at home, especially with the winning streak you have. You haven't lost too many in recent memory at Liberty Bowl Stadium, so take advantage of it. Take care, keep the momentum going from that great win over Mississippi State, and then get ready for conference play.
Well, when you put it that way, and you start to think, you get past this, right? You've got a reeling Temple team, and I think this may be one of the worst Temple teams that we have seen since we've been playing that ball club. And the most of the guys on this team were around for the Joey Magnifico robbery. So I think that game they'll come and be ready to play. And then you've got a Tulsa game. That one, it's on the road, but that one's up for grabs. If you get past that, you're right. You're talking about UCF most likely without their star quarterback. I don't know how good they are without him. He's really good. And then if Clayton Tune can't come back, that's a little bit later, but if Clayton Tune can't come back, man, you're looking at the possibility of being in line to get a shot to play Cincinnati in a championship game. I mean, that really is there. But and even though this is not a conference game, sort of that jettison up to put yourself in the conversation for a New Year's Day 6 bowl game and to really be thought of by even those in the American as a team that might be able to do battle with Cincinnati. You got to win this game. You got to win this game, and this game, these are all seniors, as you mentioned. They have 21 of their 22 players are returning starters. That's experience. They have
solid.
The player,
it's really solid team.
The preseason player of the year is their running back.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Their receiver is a guy that they think is every bit as good. UTSA thinks is every bit as good as Calvin. I mean, he's really a solid player. Our coaches really respect him because he's bigger than Calvin, not quite as fast, but real fast and shifty. And you've got an offensive line that's bigger than Memphis's. And every one of them, they got 4 seniors that start, 1 junior, and everybody else on all the backups are seniors. It's amazing.
And they're a super laden team, super juniors, super seniors.
Right.
Greg, I think that's one of the reasons for why this crazy start to college football season. There are teams that are so much more experienced this year that normally wouldn't come out of the gate as fast as they have, that they're starting better with all this experience from the COVID year last year. And you go over all that UTSA, you go down that full roster, especially the Texas players. They're all from football factories where this stuff matters.
No question about it. And he really got started, Coach Traylor, at the high school level in Texas. He coached in high school for a long, long time. So he cut his teeth in a great high school football state. And like you said, Brett, they have the bulk of their players are from the Lone Star State. And of course, it's a huge fertile recruiting ground. And that's why so many teams who play in Texas or others that go into Texas are able to get quality players. Look at Seth Hennigan for the Memphis Tigers. So it's doable for a lot of teams out there to grab a few players, but they have an awful lot of players from the state of Texas. And as you said, a lot of guys decided to come back, get that extra year because of COVID. They are a veteran team. They know what's at stake. This would be huge for them. Obviously, being a Big Ten team, beating Illinois was probably, as Wolo alluded to earlier, their Super Bowl for their schedule. Now, winning the Conference USA title would be fantastic. But knocking off Memphis, a Memphis team that just knocked off a Power 5 school in Mississippi State, would be a huge feather in their cap.
And they weren't even picked to win their division. Second behind UAB, one of those that is rumored to be coming into the American Athletic Conference, that and all the Mountain Western Division teams. So that may be discussion for another day. Last thing before we let you go as we talk Tigers here, and that has to do with Memphis Madness. It's not long before we have that beautiful get-together. I think it's, 2 weeks from?
The 13th.
Yeah.
The 13th. It's a Wednesday, I
so
believe,
it's 3 weeks.
So 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
it's the Wednesday before the Navy game.
Right, and the Navy game being on a Thursday. That is correct.
Right, so that's going to be quite the midweek entertainment with the Memphis Madness, and then follow that up with the Tigers and Navy. But look, there's so much excitement, and I know the actual event of Memphis Madness. Go there just to be a part of it.
It's
not
part
the
of
greatest
it.
thing.
It's like
It's
spring
not the
football
greatest
game.
thing. Yeah, exactly. But the introduction of the players, and of course, you have the women's team. And Katrina's their new coach, Meriwether. She is excited, and they are excited to have her. She has been able to do very well on the recruiting trail. So you got 2 programs with high expectations, especially the men's program. I'm fired up for that. I know a lot of fans will be fired up to see that.
Me too, Greg. And I like midweek entertainment, Greg. I don't mind it.
Why not? Give us 7 days a week, every week.
We always, in basketball season, we always have midweek and weekend.
We love this stuff.
Entertainment.
That's why we're in it.
Is there anything better than the overlap? You get a little.
It's why all 3 of us act like we're 10 years old.
Just a little sleep deprivation. That's it.
Yeah,
It's overrated.
I will fight someone to the death when they want to argue with me about the best time of the year. It's fall. The weather's beautiful. It's crisp.
I'm with
clear.
you.
It's clean. There's no
It's
humidity.
October.
And all the sports come together. We get the Ryder Cup this weekend. We got, a week and a half left to go in the regular season for Major League Baseball before the playoffs begin. We got basketball right around the corner. The Grizzlies, for goodness sakes, have media day on Monday. And then you got football.
Let's
full
get it all
throttle,
going.
NFL,
Let's get it all.
college
Hey,
football.
Greg,
It's
will
the best.
Don't
will
forget
y'all have
901
Steve Sands
FC.
tomorrow?
We had him earlier in the week.
You had him earlier in the week? Here's what I want to know. How many times they change clothes at the Ryder Cup? My goodness, the fashion coordinator's got to be busy. Let's go with the tweed look for an hour. Let's go with a navy blue blazer for 3 hours. Let's go with a mock turtleneck for.
Yeah, they may need one up at Whistling Straits in Wisconsin, but some of the apparel they've used in the past, they've worn in the past, it's horrible. But my boy Steve Sands, unpatriotic. He's picking the Europeans.
Well,
I am too.
I would say to you, if they made me wager,
my dad
on
would
this,
punch me. My dad would punch me.
Well, I'm not going to punch you, but it's very disappointing to hear you say this. No,
I'm sorry.
If I had to make a bet, if somebody said, "Wallow, you've got to bet this particular competition,"
you do,
and you're
Dave.
giving
Give
me
me your
minus the Americans are minus 200. I don't see how they're favored. I think
they're always favored.
Here's what we need to do.
They shouldn't be. Not
Here's
this
what we
time.
need to do, Greg. We need to tell Dave, hey Dave, you bet us, we'll fade your bet, and then when if you win, we didn't get it down for you. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. Wait a second. Both of you guys are always doing these ads where if I'm a first time guy, I get like 100 to 1 odds. Give me the euros.
You can do it. Sign up with one of our codes. Come on, Wallow. It's legal, bro.
Sign up with Gas Man. Sign up with Gas Man. Do it for Greg. Greg, thank you so much, and we really appreciate you. You made us laugh. You're a real pro.
We needed it today.
We needed that. We needed it. Thanks,
we
guys.
absolutely
Take care.
did. Thank you. That is our friend Greg Gaston. He's talking Tigers, and he's got a whole bunch of folks that bring him every week, Brett Norsworthy.
He does, and we appreciate him so much. Wilkinson's Liquor and Wine, new with us, but been around town. Give them a try. Wilkinson's Liquor and Wine, Neil's Bar and Grill, 3A Collisions, Mid-South Hobbies, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, and South Hall Cafe.
He was talking Ryder Cup, and we've been talking back forth Ryder Cup. You realize how nice it is going to be this weekend? This kind of weather that we have outside right now, that's what you're going to get all weekend. How about you go play golf in the morning and watch football in the afternoon on Saturday and on Sunday? Whoa, what a deal. And you got to go see, because these things are in great condition, you've got to go see Memphis Public Golf Courses. I'm going to go to Audubon on Sunday. I've just decided I want to see – no, I think I'm going to go to Fox Meadows on Sunday. I'm going to see Ali and what Alan, the superintendent, have done there, because everybody has told me that it is in the best shape that we have seen Fox Meadows in years. It looks like the country club it once was back in the 70s. And then I've driven through Audubon. Audubon looks spectacular. If you're driving on a Walnut Grove and you look at Galloway, you understand that is the prime of all the city golf courses, and it looks spectacular. Go play Pine Hill one more time before it drastically changes. They're redoing that golf course. When November ends, they're going to start churning the earth at that wonderful golf course in South Memphis. It's really going to be something else when we get to play that next summer. And then don't forget Overton. It's going to reopen in the spring, and it will have a whole new look, just like Sweetens Cove in Chattanooga. I mean, it's going to become the newest, latest, greatest. There is a commitment by the city to make Memphis Public Golf great, and if you go see the condition of those courses now, you'll understand they've done it. It's an amenity. They get it. It's been a sporting tradition. Memphis and public golf for 100 years. We'll pause for a second. We'll let you know what's trending when we come back on this Thursday edition of Sports Time on Sports 56.
You have opinions?
What do you hear? What do you say?
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Farmers want to make sure you got your favorite things covered and will give you a discount for doing it. Their auto multi-policy discount gives you up to 45% off your auto insurance for bundling policies like boat, motorcycle, RV, home, and life. It's just one of the many ways that you can save with Farmers. Call Daniel Chad Gallen at 901-235-1176 to learn more or get a quote.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers, Truck, or Fire Insurance Exchanges, Farmers New World Life Insurance Company, or affiliate.
Memphis, it's official, honey. Crab Kings is where it's at. The best seafood with 7 flavors to choose from. Try the shrimp, chicken, salmon, and fried lobster pastas. There's snow crab, king crab, dungeons, and more. Please don't forget about the calamari, shrimp, and lobsters, honey. The portion, the price, the taste is only at Crab Kings. Download our app and search Crab Kings on Google. Visit us at crabkingstn.com. Crab Kings, where the flavor is king.
The biggest game of Week 3 is the Monday night matchup between Philadelphia and Dallas, and FanDuel Sportsbook is about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win. That means you can end the NFL week right by winning $150 on a $5 bet. FanDuel is sports betting made simple, and they're always hooking you up with great offers. Plus, when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Just sign up with promo code CASH this week before Dallas takes on Philadelphia. You could win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code CASH so they know I sent you. Exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear that 3's a charm at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah, so I'm ready to trade up to a Kia sales event with you, my man.
That's right, Randy. 3 rides, all just $248 a month. Take your pick from a 2022 Kia Soul LX, 2021 Kia Forte LXS, or a 2021 Kia Rio LXS. Your choice, $248 a month.
And Soul, longer, better warranty than Honda or Nissan. Forte, more passenger volume and thousands less than Honda Civic. And Rio, higher MPG and thousands less than Corolla. Plus, you'll get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 72 months at 2.9 APR, $29.99 down. Sold in 716-1784, MSRP $20,500. Forte ME $402,825, MSRP $20,055. Rio ME $427,894, MSRP $19,755. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF $695. Must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
The Ryder Cup pairings have been coming out. Brett's got the update on that in just a second. We've also got a caller. Wendell wants to talk some SEC football on the AutoZone phone line, 901-360-8255. That's also the AutoZone text line. Get in the zone, AutoZone, 901-360-8255. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Be patient, Wendell, if you will. In the meantime, the Cardinals have now won 12 in a row. Do you realize that today, with that victory, they have done something they had yet to do all year long? When it comes to winning, it's the first time that they have come from behind when they were down by 3 runs. They were 0 for 48 in that scenario. Overcome that, best that they've done all year long. And
luckiest roll at the year at the right time to be zany wild card too. But it
12 in a row.
It's the playoffs.
12 in a row since 82. And then our friend Tom Ackerman has tweeted out that because of that winning streak, their magic number is now Stan Musial, number 6.
Stan the man.
How about
number
that?
6.
This portion
Stan
of the
man.
show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai, and, of course, that great luxury car, Genesis of Olive Branch and Homer Skelton Hyundai, same building, same owner, same people, same team. 14 years they've been together, and they provide you with the best service, the best care. They make buying a new car joyous, and you're getting a product that is just superior. That technology is so good. With the G cars, it's luxury and safety. With the Hyundais, the safest car in the world. That's what all the automotive magazines will tell you. It's great, and it's durable. Every new car gets a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and they're going to take care of that product for you because every new car, if you get it at Homer Skelton Hyundai or Genesis of Olive Branch, you're going to get on the house a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package. They're going to absolutely change your oil, rotate your tires, check your belts, check your liquid levels, make sure your car is running at peak performance. Please go see these guys because this is the way car business should be done. Get on Lamar, get into Mississippi, exit 1, Craft Road, turn left, you're there. You're at the standard for the way car business should be done when you walk through the doors of Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. So what does it look like when we tee it off early in the morning in the chill of Kohler, Wisconsin, and Whistling Straits?
7:05 Memphis time, 7:05 Kohler time. They're in the central time zone. That will be cold. You'll need pocket warmers. You tell me, Dave, and let's take all the nationalism out of it. Let's try to call it like we see it.
I'll be happy to
7:05.
Yeah.
On the tee, Garcia, Rom. The team Spain, boy, I think that's as stacked as Seve and Jose Maria in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So Garcia and Rom versus Spieth, Thomas.
So they did put those two together. They have been successful.
Is that a win? Is that a half? Or is that a loss for the United States?
I'm going to give the Euros a win there.
Me too, Dave. Next match, 7:21. Paul Casey, Victor Hovland versus Dustin Johnson and Colin Morikawa.
Ooh, I like that. DJ and Morikawa.
I do too.
I'm going to say give me I'm going with the Americans on that.
I am too. 1-1.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning. All right, third match, 7:37. Lee Westwood, Matthew Fitzpatrick against Memphis champion Daniel Berger and Memphis champion Brooks Koepka. Berger Koepka versus Westwood Fitzpatrick.
I love that combination. I love it. So it's Brooks and Berger. I think I'm going Brooks Berger.
I'm going push.
Okay, that's fair.
So you got 2-1. I got one and a half.
You got one and a half. Right.
All right, fourth and final match of the morning session, Rory and Poulter at 7:53 against Cantlay and Schauffele. The big buddies, good friends, Cantlay, Schauffele versus McIlroy, Poulter.
I'll go Poulter and Rory.
I will too. So even by a mile, a little bit tougher, but I didn't disagree with you much. The United States
we both got it halved. I've got it. I've got it 2-2. You've got it. What have you got? You got it.
So it shouldn't be much blood in the morning.
Yeah, we both got it even, a little different route.
So it just any advantage United States tomorrow morning. Pretty good start to the day. I do love that Memphis combo, Daniel Berger and Brooks Koepka.
I do too. I don't know about Cantlay and Xander.
Dave, you know what I really want to see the United States team do? Just play golf. Just play ball.
If Xander and Cantlay play well, then this whole thing can change. Really.
It sure can. But I want to see our team. I know you don't do anything well without being passionate about it. I know the crowd. I can't imagine what the first tee and the crowds would be like. But I don't want to see a whole bunch of chest pumping and put the cup in your ear like I can't hear you. Go play ball. Win the thing, and then celebrate. You don't have to get the crowd. You don't have to go to the riding crop to get that crowd behind you. You're in Kohler, Wisconsin. They're behind you. I don't want to see anybody kind of faking it to be theatrical. Like trying to pump the crowd up. Just play ball.
Right. I hear you. I don't. Well, with Cantlay and Xander, I don't see any theatrics there. Berger is not a theatrics guy. Neither really is Brooks. DJ Morikawa. No, the two guys.
You're right. It's a good take. We got a pretty.
The two theatrical guys are your lead team, Spieth and Thomas. Yeah. They really are.
Yeah, and they don't need to. Just play golf.
Wow. Garcia and Rahm right off the bat against Thomas and Spieth. Woo, baby.
We know in match play it's big to draw first blood.
No question.
It's big.
No question. This is really going to be a lot of fun to watch. We go to the AutoZone phone line. We'll talk a little SEC football, then we'll take a break. And we've got Taco Bell Crunch Time coming your way. Wendell, we thank you for your patience. And I'm going to let you put them on because I have a problem with that. Go ahead. Wendell, you're on with Wallow and Stats.
All right, fellas. Last year I called in about this time, first couple of weeks of interconference play in the SEC are always exciting. And you always have the haves versus the have-not. And there's always a few upsets. So I'm calling this week. Last year I picked Mississippi State over LSU, and I think I was the only one that was saying that, and it came to fruition. And y'all gave me a little
grief
lunch or dinner at Germantown Commissary, and I was calling this year. I'd like to get another one if I can, but I'll leave that up to y'all. It was so good. I've been thinking about it all year long.
So you think Mississippi State will beat LSU again this year? Is that what you're saying?
No, I did last year. I guessed that, and you gave me a prize pack to Germantown Commissary, and I've been thinking about it all year long.
What is your upset?
You want us just to give you one?
Yeah, really. I mean, come on. It's not far.
I'm picking this year. I'm picking Arkansas over A&M. You got
They're due, Wendell.
You've got
you're doing that straight up, right?
Barry Odom, and he's got this guy named Bumper Pool and a bunch of pool sharks, and A&M is missing a quarterback.
I'm game, Dave. If he wins, we'll give you one.
All right,
I'm game.
That?
That's what you want to win. So what do we get?
What do we get if you don't win that? That's what I want to know.
You can keep listening, aren't you?
I'll keep listening, and I'll give you a Germantown Commissary prize pack. How about that?
You know how to do that. Yeah, I'm game. Book it, Wendell.
All right, book it, Wendell. You got it. You're taking Arkansas straight up, right? Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you, bud.
How about that? We got guys.
Now we're booking bets for barbecue.
Did we change the show to Let's Make a Deal? I mean, what the heck is happening?
Do you have a 1955 nickel in your pocket?
Yeah. Door number 2, money. No, 3. Oh my goodness! All right.
What was Carol's last name on the show?
Merrill. Carol Merrill.
Carol Merrill. Thank you, Dave.
How about that? It's crazy. How do I remember that?
No.
I swear to you, I can't remember a guy's name that I met yesterday, and I can remember Carol Merrill.
Do you have a pair of fingernail clippers in your pocket?
If you do, that could be worth $150. And back in the 70s, that was money. That was big money.
Guaranteed. It is
but
today,
not
Dave.
as valuable as that Germantown Commissary 6-pack, that is for sure. All right, let us take our final timeout. When we come back, we'll update you on what we know about the tragedy in Collierville, and we'll give you some Taco Bell Crunch Time. Thank you for listening. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane comes your way every weekday morning from 7 till 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on all new Buicks and GMCs, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 150 in stock. Sunrise has rustled up a good-looking herd of cars and trucks under $99.95. Ranch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help put your brand on one of these fillies. Come on in and save some money during Western Trading Days at Sunrise, Covington Pike, Wolfchase, and Collierville. Cars costless at Sunrise, partner.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett and Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to reclaim your freedom in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi 1870 Covington Pike. Make your mileage count with 43 mpg and lane departure warning in your 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. $179 per month. Get more standard equipment than Ford Escape or Mazda CX-5 in your new 2022 Eclipse Cross with effortless technology at $299 per month. Plus, relax and enjoy the ride with My Pilot Assist in your new 2022 Outlander, $319 a month. And we stand behind our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, $500 military rebate. Mirage MH009-694, MSRP $17,490. Outlander NZ023330, MSRP $29,315. Eclipse NZ003186, MSRP $27,725. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF $695. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 9/30/21. Dealer stock only.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Final portion of our show brought to you by Dinstall's. You know when the fall comes, it's time for caramel apples, those fresh, tart Granny Smith apples. And you can have them dipped a lot of different ways. You can start just the old-fashioned Dinstall's fresh caramel. That's pretty good right there. However, it can get better. You can add pecans. So now you got the caramel and the pecans. Or you can go crazy, folks. Go crazy. Add chocolate. It's a turtle apple. Or even go crazier, it could be Cashew Crunch. You can actually put Cashew Crunch now on the caramel apples. It just doesn't get any better than that. There is nothing better than Dinstall's in this town when it comes to sweets, and there's nothing better than those beautiful caramel apples. Or there's the caramel corn, and you can buy one, get one. Fall's here. That means caramel and all those delicious fall treats. From all the places of Dinstall's, where they make it on Pleasant View, my neighborhood, Laurelwood, you can get it downtown, Collierville, or Germantown. 5 spots to cash in on that great candy. So one more time, a tragic story today that comes out of Collierville. It is a national story now. There was a shooting incident inside the Kroger in Collierville at Poplar and Bahalia Road. It has left 13 very seriously injured, one victim who passed away, and the shooter committed suicide. It appears that the shooter was a former employee that worked in the sushi department that was actually fired this morning and then came back, according to testimony from a 32-year employee named Bridget Dickerson. The shooter came in sprinting with a big gun and was blazing. The bullets were going everywhere. 13 injured, 9 taken to the Regional 1 downtown, 5 in non-critical, 4 in critical condition. There may be more numbers that we'll get as the story develops. But honestly, that is the story that has captivated the Mid-South. A sad one. This afternoon.
Pure nightmare.
Yeah.
Just hope the Almighty lays his loving hands on the deceased family and all that are hurting, and thank God for doctors and nurses and first responders.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the meantime, it is Taco Bell Crunch time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Looking for something new at Taco Bell? Try the original tacos meets the instant classic, nacho fries. There's bound to be some magic. Nacho fries are essentially building blocks for culinary imagination. Slightly seasoned, go with bold spices. Warm nacho cheese and sour cream. Loaded taco fries are covered with seasoned beef, nacho cheese sauce, ranch, tomato, and shredded cheese. In short, the legend of nacho fries lives on.
12 straight for the Cardinals. They have 2 tomorrow on the north side of Chicago, then 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday, and they're really not being pushed by anybody that's that good. San Diego looks like they're done, going to fire their manager. Philadelphia, maybe too little, too late. Cincinnati, they run very hot and cold. They've signed up with David Bell again for next year. The Cardinals don't have to win too many more with the magic number now at 6. Win about 2 or 3 more, and you can kind of back your way in with everybody else losing.
It is something. They do it in come-from-behind fashion where they were 0 for 48. They've got their longest winning streak since 82, and they meet the Northsiders in Chicago. How long can this streak go? Oh, also, the Southsiders of Chicago. We failed to mention, but they clinched the American League Central today in a strong way, and nobody is talking about Tony La Russa at the age of 76 winning a divisional crown, but it is definitely worth talking about.
Could have done without 2 great college football games this weekend that sadly aren't in college towns. Notre Dame and Wisconsin at Soldier Field, and once again Arkansas and A&M at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. We know why Arkansas and A&M are why they play at Cowboy Stadium, and we know it's coming to an end. A&M can't wait to end it. Madison, South Bend, College Station, and Fayetteville need those games. I hope we move away from these college games at pro stadiums, except for about 2 or 3 of these rivalries. Everything else, play it with your season ticket fans that are buying these season tickets, get some value for it.
You want to see Texas, Oklahoma stay at a neutral in Dallas at the
Yes.
Cotton Bowl?
I want the cocktail party and the Red River Shootout to stay where it is.
Just
everything
those two?
else,
you want to
maybe Army Navy, maybe.
You want to do well? You know what? I want to see it on the home campus before I make a judgment on that, because it seems like it would be awfully special if you were doing that in Annapolis or if you were doing that at West Point. What about the preseason games that we see?
The early season games?
Yeah, in Atlanta in particular.
Ready for that to end.
I think I'm really ready for that to end. Have those games on campus too.
Yeah.
Why the heck not?
Louisville and Ole Miss in Atlanta, I mean, it just wasn't much to it.
I guess I could do without sending out Spieth and Thomas as my first team tomorrow. I would have rather seen them go out maybe third to take on Westwood and Fitzpatrick. I wouldn't have minded a steady Brooks and Berger. And isn't it interesting, Brett Norsworthy, that Brooks Koepka, who was the most vocal about really not loving the Ryder Cup, that he is amongst the first 8 of the 12 that go out?
Well, that's something that Captain Steve Stricker will be questioned about.
Unless
if
he
it
wins.
doesn't pay off.
Unless they win. Who will be the star in those early morning? I think if Schauffele and Cantlay could upset Rory and Poulter, that would be the biggest story of the morning for the Americans.
I think Daniel Berger's just tough as a boot. I really like him.
I agree.
He's ready for his moment. He hadn't won a major, but he's been around.
One other story that we really didn't examine, because who knows, but Dr. David Rudd, appointed today to the National Collegiate Athletic Board of Directors. This is the big deal. And his term runs through August of 2025. Dr. Rudd is scheduled to retire from this presidency and take a sabbatical and come back to be a teacher. He's supposed to step down, provided there's a replacement, in May of 2022. We're talking about a 3.5-year difference here. Does that mean that the president is deciding to stay on as the president of the University of Memphis? We don't know. But that will be something we'll find out about by tomorrow, because I know the school's been asked a bunch now since that announcement came out.
Fair question.
And what a tremendous honor for Dr. Rudd, for sure.
It is. Well earned. Keeping a close eye tonight on Davis Mills is in the NFL. You think Davis Mills' family knows he's in the NFL?
Of course they do, because he went to Stanford. He's a smart guy.
If you went to Stanford, it makes you smart, right?
Exactly.
You got to be smart.
Yeah.
He's on TV tonight, and he's on your radio tonight right here on AM 560 and 98.5 in about an hour and a half from Westwood 1. You know who's doing the game on Westwood tonight?
Wait, what's that? I heard the thing. Let me think for just. I heard the promo.
Dave Pasch and
promo. It's Dave Pasch, who I love, and it's Mike Golick's son, Mike Golick Jr.
I think it's Mike Golick Sr., isn't it?
Oh, is it senior? You sure?
I think so.
I thought it was junior.
Well, I'm ready to listen in and find out. I think it's Big Mike Golick.
Oh, I love Big Mike Golick.
I did
really
too.
do.
I did too. We'll watch Matt Rule back in Texas tonight as an NFL head coach. Again, if James Franklin leaves Penn State, I think Penn State would make a big offer at Matt Rule. But his college coaching changed so much, they may not want to go back. Most of the baseball tonight really doesn't matter. The Phillies, they keep fighting. They play Pittsburgh. Blue Jays have to keep up. They play Minnesota. Astros and Dusty Baker, they're cruising to the West title. They're in Los Angeles tonight to play Shohei. But Dusty Baker and Tony La Russa in the playoffs. Those old men fight. They throw punches.
No. Come on.
There's no love lost, and it goes way back.
I am trying like the Dickens to let them ask these guys, and they can't read my writing. Is it Mike Golick Jr. or Senior?
I think it's Senior.
My gosh, that is not that bad of writing, guys.
It's Senior. The problem is that you have one sheet of paper, and so you can't see like the lights coming through it.
See, I can see you guys great on this side. It must be tougher to see it coming this way.
You always get there where you can't see and you can't hear just like us.
I should have held it to the cameras. Is what I should have done.
I think Mike Golick Sr. and Dave Pash are big buds in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area and have done a lot of preseason football. I'm going to listen to a lot of Westwood One.
I will, too. I think Dave Pash is great. I
really, do, too.
And I think he's getting more and more in the
he's so
ESPN
good with Bill Walton. He's so good. He handles
comedy.
Him so well.
Oh, he does.
It is.
That is real comedy. We got to thank... And we had a great show today. We really did. Well, we got to thank Bill Bender. We got to thank Keith Smith. We got to thank Russell Copeland. And we got to thank Greg Gaston. This was a difficult day for all of us because of the news that came out of Collierville. I want to thank Jay Morgan Harder for helping us keep up with that. And, of course, Brian Dacus always doing a good job as well. We'll do this again tomorrow afternoon right here at 3. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.